Hello and welcome to episode one of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. My name is Kyle Woodring. I'm here with my co-host Koty Whitaker. Koty, say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody.
And we would like to thank you guys for joining us. The whole premise of this podcast is just going to be exactly what the name of the podcast says. We were athletes once, so we obviously think we're experts. And we're the whole point of this is just to have fun. You know, we obviously love the sports that we're talking about, and so we are just like I said, trying to have fun with this. And what's more fun than arguing with your friends like children about sports? So if like I said, if you guys are joining us on this journey, thank you. Because you probably have so many better things you could be doing with your time, but you're choosing it to spend with us. Um, a little bit of housekeeping for what the show is going to be about. There is going to be an episode every day, Monday through Friday. I am going to be on just about every day. We're going to aim for me being on every day, and I'm going to have a rotating co-host with me. So we have two other co-hosts besides Koty. On Mondays, we're going to be talking about football with Randall. Uh, we're going to be mostly talking about NFL, but we will be talking about college. We'll be talking about whatever is popular in the football world at that time. Tuesday, me and Koty are going to be talking about hockey. Wednesday, Randall's going to be back on. We're going to be talking about basketball. Thursdays are normally going to be our days that Koty and I are going to be talking about baseball. And then Fridays, we are going to be on with Aaron, and we're going to be talking about mixed martial arts. It's mostly going to be UFC, but we'll be doing a bunch of different mixed martial arts stuff and just combat sports in general. Um, and so we kind of have something for everyone. So that's hopefully going to be just as fun for you as it is for us. Our schedule's going to be a little bit sporadic at the beginning. We are going to be full go right off the bat for both football and baseball because we have training camps opening back up. Preseason's about to start. We are getting a bunch of training camp injuries already, and so I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about that. Baseball, the trade deadline just hit. The regular season is in the home stretch, and we're going to have a lot of playoff baseball to talk about. And so we're really going to be having fun with that. As for the other sports, our Friday episodes are going to be starting on August 15th, which will be the Friday before UFC 319. And basketball and hockey are both going to be a little hit or miss at the beginning. We're in the off season right now, so we'll have episodes whenever something fun happens. We might pop in for a random episode now and again. But for both of those sports, whenever the regular season gets a lot closer and we have a lot more stuff to talk about, don't worry, we're going to be talking about it. I feel like I rambled a lot. Koty, do you have anything to add on to that?
I'm real excited. If you're anything like us, you are an armchair GM and you think you're right and know more than the actual GMs, and sometimes we might, depending on on who our favorite team is and who owns it and makes the decisions. So, I'm excited to talk about it. Like you said, we are a bunch of former athletes that like to talk about sports still and don't have enough people to talk to and annoy on a constant basis. So I'm excited to get going, and as people start finding this, doing some live videos and interacting with people and getting their opinions and getting to take this and see where it goes. Like you said, we'll do some other things as well. So if like World Cup comes around or one of the Olympic times happens, we'll get those and some other special things. I'm a wrestler. Let's go. So when NCAAs come around, we'll have to hit some of that too. So if there's anything you want or want to see, let us know and we'll see what we can do as well. But I'm just excited to start talking sports.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, I'm gonna keep hounding on this. If you are watching this channel, thank you. We appreciate it. Please be sure to follow us on our socials. Uh, we were athletes once, or we were athletes once podcast on just about everything. I'm sure we'll have some sort of link somewhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Is it X now? Twitter,
Yeah.
X, whatever it's called. We'll have some links somewhere. If you're joining us on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you guys want to hit the notification bell, that'll be awesome. That'll let you know whenever we have episodes up and wherever we're going live. And like I said, this is going to be a fun journey. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. And uh, like I said, this is just going to be fun. Um,
Let's go.
so we're a little bit late on this topic, a little bit later than a lot of other people would be.
Well,
Um,
hold on, hold on. Full transparency.
Full transparency.
This is this is take two of this episode.
Yeah.
Uh, we did this the day after the trade deadline and ran into some difficulties with getting our video downloaded and being able to do that, and it might have gone a little longer than we
Yeah.
would have liked. So we were like, man, let's instead of doing all this crazy stuff, instead of putting this 4.5 hour episode out, because that's insane for a first episode, and we want people to actually listen and come back. Let's do this again, and let's be a little more precise with it. So, full transparency, we are learning. We're here to grow with you guys as well. So, if something's not good, if it's not right, let us know, because you know this is for fun, and we're learning too.
Yeah. We're going to be very bad at this at the beginning. And once again, that's why your support means the world to us. Um, but yeah, we had some technical difficulties. We had the option of trying to salvage this 4.5 hour video or reshoot it. And um, you're welcome for our decision.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, also, the trade deadline is just something that is so, like, there's so much stuff to talk about. Um, Especially this trade deadline. I remember we talked on Thursday when the deadline happened that neither one of us were very high on this deadline at the beginning, but the more I looked at it, I I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan. I don't think I'm going to say it's the greatest trade deadline of all time, but there were a lot of moves that happened and some of them were pretty big moves.
yeah. I'm still not a huge fan of it. I think a couple of teams cleaned house. I think a couple of playoff teams made a couple of big moves that were very bold. Um, but in general, there wasn't like those huge moves you like to see, and there was less going for it from some of the playoffs teams than I expected. So I'm still a little down on it. Um, but seeing some of the returns for certain teams, I like, and compared to last year, I mean, we saw some decent trades last year, but there were no top 100 prospects traded, and this year we had three. So there's a little something there.
Yeah, so basically how this episode is going to go down is we're going to go through team by team and we are going to talk about what they did throughout the deadline. Obviously, some teams are more important than others right now, and
The playoff
some
ones.
teams, yeah, yeah, playoff teams and teams that are going to lose 100 games plus. Uh, and we are going to be talking about what they did throughout the home stretch of the deadline because that's kind of when people made their final decisions. So the things like the Rafael Devers trade won't be. We won't go into huge detail on that because that happened in May or June or whenever it was. Um, but we're kind of going to be looking at the past week or so. And like I said, we're going to go team by team. Um, and we are going to start very easy. The Angels. Um, the Angels. The Angels are a team that irritate me. And
Wait, wait, wait. Do the Angels irritate you, or does their owner irritate you?
Yes. Um, they I I just never know what they're thinking on a lot of things. I remember like a couple years ago they made these trades for Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez and Matt Moore and all these guys probably 2 weeks before the deadline, and then they went on a huge losing streak and they immediately shipped them all out of town. Um, but they also do things like knowing Shohei Otani is not going to get re-signed, knowing you can get a haul for him, that last trade deadline or maybe the one before his walk year, and they still don't trade him. Um, it's just so weird with what they did, and granted, this year they didn't do a whole lot at this deadline, so we've kind of already talked about them a little bit too long, but
Listen, you do
um,
know what they're going to do, though. Their owner's Artie Moreno, and you know he refuses to sell. So even if they're bad, he's going to do a soft buy. Like, he's not even going to sell off pieces. And we saw it again this year. You bring in two relievers that are mid to help that rotation or that bullpen, which is terrible, and you take kind of a shot on a former top 100 prospect that hasn't lived up to anything in hopes that he can find it again. But the Angels angeled. Like, I don't know what you want to say about him, but it's Artie Moreno every trade deadline. And they'll never be good because he bets on soft buys, refusing to sell, and low upside, quickest to the majors at the draft. So they're never going to get that superstar.
yeah. So they acquired Andrew Chafin and Luis Garcia from the Nationals in a trade. Um, they got back Jake Eater, who's a left-handed reliever who has kind of bounced around a little bit throughout his young career, and a guy named Sam Brown, who, if I'm not mistaken, is not a top 30 prospect in their system. I don't really know a whole lot on the guy, um, but that was a thing that happened. As about about all I can really say. Um, and then later on in the deadline, they also acquired Oswald Peraza from the Yankees. Which, why? Uh,
Like I
like,
said, he's taking a shot.
yeah,
I don't think it's a good one, but in his mind, maybe you find something.
yeah, and they didn't give up a whole lot for him, but like, you're talking about a guy who has an OPS plus, I believe, in like the 20s or something like that. Um,
I didn't know that was
it's
possible.
he's still young. He's a former, I believe, a former top prospect. So maybe they can get something out of him, but their deadline was just odd to me, and that's about all I can say.
Yep, I got nothing else. They don't deserve any more time.
Perfect. Glad we're on the same page. Moving on, the Houston Astros, and the Houston Astros had a very interesting trade deadline, I'll say. So, and it was more interesting on Thursday. It was more interesting on Thursday uh, as the clock was hitting zero. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe they made a move prior to Thursday. Um, but
Was
then
Ramon Urias on Thursday?
he was, yes.
Okay.
Um, but then they made, like I said, a couple moves at the buzzer. They acquired uh I'm trying to remember the Jesus
Jesus
Sanchez,
Sanchez,
and the
yeah.
reason why I had to remember why is because I get him and Brian De La Cruz confused.
Good
They
old
were
Marlins.
they were both Marlins. I feel like they're both kind of the same player, even though they're not. I'm pretty sure they hit from different sides of the plate, but uh, they bolstered an outfield that desperately needed some sort of help. They acquired Ramon Urias from the Baltimore Orioles, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they got a little bit of depth in the infield, but then a move happened that I believe we're kind of differing of opinions on just how we feel about this move.
I don't like it.
Koty doesn't like it. I don't know if I like it, but I think I do, but I'm very confused by it. Um Carlos Correa getting traded from the Twins back to the Astros. And the reason why I'm confused about it is because after the 2021 season, they didn't really want to pay a huge contract to Carlos Correa. They had Jeremy Pena that was coming up, and they thought he was going to be a really good player, and they let him walk. He signed with the Twins for, I believe, a 3-year deal, but had an opt out in there, and he opted out. They still didn't really try to sign him when he hit free agency again, and then he had his uh, off-season disaster where he signed 3 different deals and ended up back with the Twins for what was really a bargain bin deal for what you like what you think Carlos or what you think of Carlos Correa at that time. 6-year deal for $200 million, and I understand why they are more willing to bring him back right now because he's on a very cheap deal again compared to what you expect him to have. But I don't know, having him there to play third base, I if I'm not mistaken, even though Isaac Paredes is probably out for the year, I don't think he's a free agent. I might be wrong on that.
Paredes,
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah, so I'm interested on what's going to happen
next year.
next year. Yeah, maybe they try uh the Paredes at second and Altuve in left field thing like they've been talking about. Um, I don't know. I think I like the move, but it's very odd to me.
Yeah, I don't
What do
like
you?
it. I don't like it. The only reason it's palatable is because the Twins did eat like $33 million. So instead of it being like 33 million a year, it comes down to like 21 million a year. Um, Jim Crane likes big name players, and Carlos Correa is a big name. Is he playing like a big name? No, he has not been great this year. You're moving him from a position he's played his whole life. I don't believe he's ever played third base before. You're moving him to third, and like you said, next year, what happens with this infield? Um, do you move Correa to second? Do you move Paredes to second? Like I don't like necessarily either of those options. And my biggest thing is you're paying Carlos Correa quite a bit of money for 3 more years after this one. It's not like this was a rental stopgap while Paredes is out for the rest of the year. You're paying him a good bit of money, and he's been on a decline, and he's not been great this year. And you're holding on to him for another 3 years. Um, I didn't like it. I don't like that fit. Like I know that's what the Astros want when they acquire people. They want to go big, and I know they didn't give up a crazy amount for him. Um, I just don't think that was the play.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I like it a little bit is because um, we're gonna be talking about the Twins a lot throughout this episode.
Oh yes,
They made a lot of moves,
they sold their whole team.
and yeah, they they sold, and they didn't the Astros didn't really trade a lot to get Carlos Correa. They traded, a prospect I'll put in air quotes. He's not, a top 30 guy. He's basically just a minor league outfielder, um, who I don't believe will ever make the big leagues. Maybe he can prove us wrong, but uh, and I know why they did it. It's because they're selling the team, and they want to make it as palatable as possible for the new owner. But Carlos Correa, even though he's been not the same player that you expect him to be, Carlos Correa still has the ability to be a very good player. It's not like he's super old. I believe he's only 30 years old, which is odd considering we've been talking about him for ever. Like he got drafted, I believe, at 17. Um, so I don't mind it because of that, but you're adding this money to the books that you haven't really shown any interest in spending. You could have kept Kyle Tucker for another year if you're planning
That's
on
another reason
competing.
I don't like it. Give
Um,
that money to Tucker.
yeah, it's I understand why they did it, but it's and I don't hate it, but it's very confusing to me. You got anything else on
Nope.
that or on the Astros in general?
No, it felt like our favorite team, the Cardinals, kind of spending right there. Like, oh, we're gonna spend money and we got something, but I don't think you spent money on the right thing.
Yeah. Speaking of not spending money, uh, we're gonna talk about the Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas Athletics.
The Athletics, they
Yeah,
don't have a city.
I call them the Oaksack Vegas Athletics
Oh,
a lot,
that's
just
terrible.
because it's a jumbled mess, just like their organization.
Yeah,
Um, this is a team that also sold, which you would expect, I think, from the Athletics. Uh, I believe they didn't really do anything until Thursday as well.
till the big trade.
Um, and they made two trades, and you start off with uh, or just for the sake of things, we're gonna talk about Miguel Andujar first.
Okay.
We're gonna trade him. We trade him to the Cincinnati Reds for Kenya Huggins, who I don't know what his ranking was off the top of my head uh, with the Reds, but I believe he is currently the 27th ranked prospect in uh, the A's system. He is,
Yes.
and he's a very interesting player. He came off of Tommy John surgery late last year, and so he is still pitching in high A right now. Um, he actually might have just gotten called up because he doesn't appear to have any stats right now at high A. But I don't know how I feel about his chances to make the big leagues. And the reason why is because he has a very odd pitch arsenal. He has a fastball that, sits in the mid 90s. He can touch 97, which, that's pretty good, especially considering he, is profiling to be a starter. At least they're hoping he is. But his other two pitches, he throws a slider and a changeup that both sit 86, 87 to 91 miles an hour. And whenever you think of changeups or sliders that are thrown that hard, you tend to think of guys that throw triple digits. These big time relievers with a power changeup that's basically a sinker. or a power slider that's basically a cutter. This guy throws three fastballs and it's not really going to blow you away that much. And I don't think there's a whole lot of movement with his pitches. So, you know, again, you're trading him for 2 months of Miguel Andujar, but
It's a dark shot.
yeah. Um, and then the
And the big
big
one.
trade, which on the A's side of things, I
It's
don't
good.
know. I think I like it
I
because
like it.
they didn't hold on to Mason Miller longer than they needed to. This is one of the best pitchers that was traded at this year's deadline, starter or reliever.
The best.
And what was that?
The best.
The best, yeah. Um, and we all knew he wasn't going to be on the team in 2028 when they're planning on breaking ground, or
Jamming.
they're planning on playing their first game in Vegas. When I say planning on, because we still don't know when they're planning on breaking ground on a new ballpark. Um, so I think we're both kind of iffy on if 2028 is going to happen. But yeah, they didn't hold on to Mason Miller longer than they needed to. They traded him with a ton of control left. They threw in JP Sears, which good for JP Sears, and they got back an absolute haul.
Yes, they did. I believe it's 1-5-9 in their system now.
Um,
Yeah.
1-5-9, yes.
And then another throwing piece.
And we talked about how there were 3 top 100 prospects that were traded at this deadline. One of them is the third ranked prospect in all of baseball. Leo DeVries. We've heard about him for a little bit now. Was the top international ranked prospect in his draft, or in his class. He's 18 years old. Uh currently is in high A, and is hitting pretty well. He has a pretty good glove. He is going to end up sticking at shortstop, switch hitter, and he's a guy that you don't really ever really plan on trading, but or for the Padres. But when you're getting a guy like Mason Miller, you're going to have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah, and I like this for both sides, and I think for me, I think the Padres are going to take Mason Miller. They're going to use him as they used him as their eighth inning guy the other day, um, which I would rather see him in the ninth over Suarez, but that's just me. But he'll be their eighth or ninth guy, and he's throwing 103, 104. He's got like the 4 fastest pitches on the season, and they're all over 104 miles an hour. Like that's filthy. Um, but I think that they use him there, and I think they're going to try and transition him back into a starter. And I think that's why you give up the number 3 overall prospect in baseball. And if they're not trying to do that, then I don't like this trade as much. Um, and I know you don't like trying to transition him back into a starter because of how good of a closer he is. You don't want to mess with that. Um, but I say, why not? Like, if you can transition him back into a starter and he's consistently throwing 98 to 100 for 7 innings with nasty stuff, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out and he goes back to being a closer. Um, but I like this a lot for the Athletics because, like you said, like Mason Miller is an elite closer that doesn't get to close that many games because they're terrible without knowing where they're going to be in a couple of years. So sell as high as you can on him when he still has some control. And I think they did that. Like the fact that you get Leo DeBrys back, who I think is a great glove, and you've got a switch hitting shortstop, like that's a cornerstone piece for any future. And the A's got that now. I also like what they got in Braden Nett and Henry Baez. Both of those right-handed pitchers look like they're going to be pretty freaking good. So getting back a cornerstone shortstop, someone up the middle that's going to be locked down for the next 10 to 15 years for your franchise potentially, and two pitchers that could be middle of the rotation to even possibly a two in your rotation, like I'm making that trade all day too. So I really like this for the Athletics.
Yeah, talking about those other guys in the trade real quick. I say just call them the other guys, but like you
They're
said,
good.
two top 10 prospects in the A system. And another guy who's ranked 17 in their system who is currently, I believe, in the big leagues
Oh,
for
I
them.
forgot about Nunez.
Yeah. Braden Nett uh, is a very interesting player because he was an undrafted free agent in 2022 out of St. Charles Community College,
Let's
which
go.
that's
My neck of the woods.
yeah. Koty used to live in St. Charles, so Braden Nett he has a fun little bond with him. But in terms of the pitcher that Braden Nett is, he's currently 23 years old. He's in Double A. He's made 17 starts this year to a 3.39 ERA at Double A with 86 strikeouts in 74 innings. He's got a real live arm. His fastball, is mid to high 90s, touches as high as 99. Uh, he's got a real hard, again, cutter, slider, or sorry, it is a cutter. Also throws a slider that ranks out pretty well. Um, he also throws that pitch that we talked about a little bit in that our first podcast episode, the kick change, which
Big change.
sounds like a change up to me, but
It
uh,
is. It's a changeup that drops down towards the falls out of the zone to the right-handed hitters in on them.
yeah, sounds like a change up to me.
It is.
Um, and then he has a curveball that is in the 70s.
That's
So
filthy.
imagine facing this guy. He throws you 99 and then ends up throwing
70.
a 77-mile-an-hour curveball right after that. I would be
Gross.
pissed.
Yeah, you're not hitting that unless you're sitting dead on it.
Yeah. I don't think Braden Nett's going to be long before he reaches the big leagues. I imagine we'll probably see him at some point next year. Um, that's just me being it might be me being hopeful for him because he's from not too far from us. And there's also Henry Baez, who is also in Double A, and he isn't necessarily a strikeout guy as well as, or he doesn't strike people out as well as Braden Nett does. But you're looking at a guy 20 starts this year at Double A, 4-2 with a 1.96 ERA, and still almost a strikeout inning. Um,
You'll take that.
yeah, he doesn't quite have as big of an arm. Typically sits, he is about pretty similar to Braden Nett, mid to high 90s. He can hit 99. Also has a curveball in the mid 70s, which
Not fair.
the A's have a type, I guess. Um, Again, I would also probably expect Henry Baez to be in the big leagues next year, probably.
I mean, it's the A's. Do they
Yeah,
have anybody?
that's fair. Yeah. And then Ed Eduarniel Nunez.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his first name.
Yeah, he's pitched a little bit out of the Padres bullpen this year. Uh, he's 26. He's gonna be a reliever. Uh,
He's a
but
top 30 prospect, and he's 26.
Yeah,
It's
so
your
I have
favorite
a
type of prospect.
I have a rule when it comes to prospects, at least at this point in my life. If you are older than me, you should not be a prospect, or you should not be considered a prospect. And Eduardo Nunez, who just for to let you guys know, we don't know all these guys' names or how to pronounce them. Maybe if we were better at what we do, then we would do some sort of research on that. But here we are. Um, Nunez is 26. He is older than me. I wouldn't call him a prospect, but seems like a nice reliever the A's could use.
Yeah, I've got a rule too. If they're older than me, they're probably about to retire.
um, is Nolan Arenado older than you?
Um, Maybe.
It's close.
Shh.
um, Koty hates Nolan Arenado. That's
I don't hate Nolan Arenado.
I need to throw you under the bus before you
I'm gonna throw you under the
start throwing
bus.
me under the bus. Um, yeah.
I am 13 days older than Nolan Arenado.
Okay, so he's not in any danger yet.
No, he's in danger. Just
um, moving on to the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays they made some nice moves. Um, I don't know if it's necessarily what we all expected them to do. Um, but they made some moves that you didn't really need to give up a whole lot, and they did make their team better. So you got to give them credit for that.
I have mixed feelings.
How so?
I I like them getting Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think that's a good bullpen piece that they needed. Um, Shane Bieber, he's looked good in his rehab in AAA, so there's potential there. Could be a good move. Might be nothing. We'll see. Luis Varlin, decent decent player. You know, you get extra pitching depth. He's got some control, I believe. Decent. Ty France, I don't know why they need that. That was a questionable one to me. And I don't mind that they went out and got a catching prospect in Brandon Valenzuela. I kind of like that. Why I did not, why I've got mixed feelings. I don't like that you gave up Kendry Rojas and Jerron Watts Brown. I think both of them are going to turn out to be good. Rojas especially. So you gave up several prospects. Alan Rodon, who's been playing in their outfield, who's not very good. He's a 200 hitter, so whatever. Means nothing to me. But I just think Rojas and Watts Brown could turn into something good, especially Rojas, and that could hurt them. And with Toronto, I feel like they were a team that's leading the AL along with Detroit that could have gone big and separated themselves, and they didn't. And I think some other teams in their division, one specifically, did quite a bit, and that could come back to bite them, and they could end up taking a wild card spot instead of winning the division and potentially winning the AL. So I like some of the things they did, but I like some of the return that they gave up, and I wish they would have went bigger.
Yeah, like I said, I do think the Blue Jays got better from
For
this
sure.
deadline. There were the main thing about the Blue Jays deadline that I wish they did was I wish they got a superstar. And they didn't really do that. Like I really wanted to see the Blue Jays go all in because they are telling their fans with re-signing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. that or extending him, I should say, that they do really want to compete. And I don't believe they've extended Bo Bichette yet. Am I
He
wrong?
hasn't. No, I don't. I don't think he's coming back.
I don't know if he is or not either, but I believe the Blue Jays have said that they are going to put in an effort for that. And
Sure.
I rolled my eyes whenever they said that about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and then they gave
Well,
him
they
half
got it
a million
done.
dollars.
Yeah.
Um, I just wish they
But
would
what
have
superstar were they going to get?
Stephen Kwan.
Okay.
He's not
Good, really good player,
really
not
good
super.
player. I should rephrase that. Um, I mean, shoot, go get Mason Miller. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I thought they were going to be one of two players for Ryan Helsley or one of those, like, elite closers. And while Sir Anthony Dominguez is good, like, you didn't get yourself a lockdown closer. Like, there were 6 or 7 out there of legit closers on the market, and you didn't go get one. And I have a problem with that if you're leading the division.
Yeah, and what something that I will give them credit for is they got pretty close to my ask of a superstar with getting Shane Bieber. The issue
There's potential to be there. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
The issue with Shane Bieber is we haven't seen him pitch since April of 2024 because he's been coming back from Tommy John surgery. And, we're kind of past the days of Tommy John surgery being a death sentence.
Yeah. Shoot, they're
And
coming throwing harder now.
yeah. And in those two starts that Shane Bieber had last year, he looked phenomenal. I don't
Well,
believe he let go a run.
well, and everything we've seen in his rehab assignments is he's been phenomenal. So
Yeah.
signs are pointing to that turning out to be really good.
Yeah.
And
And I
if he comes back and looks like Shane Bieber of old, then this was a steal, and
no,
they won it. Like,
no, I
and
would
that's fine.
I would
But
love to eat my
that's my
words.
only question with it.
Yeah, I would love to eat my words and say they did trade for a superstar. They traded for a Cy Young pitcher.
I mean, they might
They
have,
might
but
have.
that's the risk that they took.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we've seen what Sandy has looked like this year coming back from Tommy John surgery, and that is a Cy Young pitcher. I believe won the Cy Young the year after Shane Bieber did.
COVID, Cy Young.
Bieber was 2020. I think Alcantara was 2021 because Bauer was.
Alcantara, I thought Alcantara was the COVID Cy Young.
No, that was Trevor Bauer.
Bring him
Uh,
back to the
the
majors,
Mickey
by the
Mouse
way.
guy.
Bring me some Bauer outage. I
I
don't
love
care what anyone says. I'll take him. Bring
I
him to the
love
Cardinals.
I love Trevor Bauer.
He said he would play for free. Bring him on.
He's been kind of bad this year in Japan though.
Don't care. Give
But
me that energy.
I think Shane Bieber could be the piece that they need to put them over the top in the American League. Uh, We'll see.
Yeah, it could very well be the steal of the trade deadline.
Yeah. As for everything else, I don't love that they trade Will Wagner. It seems like
Yeah.
he was a really good clubhouse guy, and he was their starting third baseman for the past couple weeks at least. And they trade him for a backup catcher. Uh, I don't know why they got Ty France because he's only a first baseman at this point. Unless you're
You're not
trying to
moving
move
him.
him back to third or you're trying to move Vladdy back to
You
third.
shouldn't move either to third.
Where's your third baseman?
You know,
Um,
it's somewhere.
Sir Anthony Dominguez, I agree. Good, not great. Um,
If they would have gone a closer to go with Sir Anthony Dominguez, I would view this very differently.
yeah, like I said, they did a lot. They got better. I just don't know if
Yeah.
they did enough.
Yeah. I'm worried when it comes to the postseason that back end of the bullpen isn't going to hold up late in games.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Next, we have the Atlanta Braves.
Oh,
And
they sucked. Got
yeah,
it.
I mean, they didn't really do anything of substance. They traded for a couple DFA guys in Carlos Carrasco and Eric Fetty.
Bye.
They they're probably not going to give anything up for them. And they also traded for Tyler Kinley from the Rockies, which
he hasn't been great this year, but he's got control, and it's Colorado, so maybe he gets better.
With Atlanta, I don't think we're talking as much about who they traded. I think we're more talking about who they didn't trade.
Yep,
Why is Ozuna still of the Braves?
Okay. Out of all the players, that's the one I'm least upset about because he does have 5'10" rights, and I have heard rumors that he did exercise it to a team. I don't know who that team is,
We have some sort of reason to believe it was the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay.
I don't know why that makes sense. That wouldn't make sense for him
He
because
would
everyone
hit
would hit
tanks
it.
out of that ballpark.
Yeah,
But my bigger issue is that they didn't trade Raisel Iglesias or Pierce Johnson. Both are free agents at the end of this season, and you're not winning. Cool. You want to re-sign them? Great. Do it in the offseason. Get some prospects. Build your pull up. I don't like that you have free agents on your team when you are currently, let me check, 17 games out of the division. Unacceptable.
a very tough division.
Yeah, and you're 6 games behind the Marlins, who are 6 games out of the wild card. So you're 12 out of the wild card.
My only thing with
Unacceptable.
my only thing with Iglesias and Pierce Johnson is, you might get something for him. Neither one of them are really elite relievers. You can argue,
Name recognition alone, Iglesias gets you something.
yeah, you could argue Raisel Iglesias could get you something pretty good, but
Kyle Finnegan got something, and I would rather have Iglesias over him.
yeah, that's fair. Um, I would have liked to see the Braves trade some pieces away.
For sure.
Um, Especially considering I think the Braves will go back to at least being close to competitive next year. They've been decimated by injuries this year.
Well, can Acuna stay healthy? He's been hurt like 3 times this year, and he's back in a walking boot. So
Yeah.
figure
And
it out.
having two torn ACLs throughout his career already isn't great,
I mean, he's
especially
still signed to a
considering,
sweetheart deal, so
yeah. Well, when you're expecting him to hit 40 homers and steal 70 bases every year, he needs to have knees that work.
that's fair.
Um,
Next.
the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, here we go. Let's go. One of my biggest losers of the draft. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So the Brewers again didn't do a whole lot. They got Danny Jansen from the Tampa Bay Rays. They also got Nestor Cortez and a prospect for
No, they traded Nestor
Brandon
Cortez.
Lockridge. Huh? They trade away Nestor
Traded.
Cortez, and they got back Brandon Lockridge.
It's the
Trade
only trade
Nestor
I
and the
kind of
prospect.
liked.
Um, and they acquired Shelby Miller, and in exchange for Shelby Miller, they ate part of Jordan Montgomery's contract because they took on Jordan Montgomery. He's not going to pitch for him. He's in a walk year, but he's recovering from Tommy John, so he's not going to pitch at all this year. Maybe they can re-sign him and they can fix something in him because he looked absolutely lost in Arizona. And we both know Jordan Montgomery is a very good pitcher, and I still think there's something in him. And if anyone can turn him into the pitcher that he was with the Yankees and the Cardinals and the Rangers, or even better, it's the Brewers.
Yeah. Here in St. Louis, we like Jordan Montgomery still. He was great for us. And I think they really like him in Texas too. And who's our old pitching coach that went to Texas?
Maddox.
Maddox. He needs to go back to Maddox because there was just something with Mike Maddox and him that just clicked. Yeah, it was the
Hand on the
claw.
shoulder.
It was the claw. But just something about them worked. And if I'm him, I'm like, wherever Mike Maddox is, I'm going there and we're going to figure out what's going on with me and I'm going to get my career back on track because he's a solid pitcher.
Yeah.
Um,
And notice of all the Brewers moves, we're talking about the guy who's out with
not
Tommy John
playing this
surgery
year.
and probably not going to pitch with the team.
No, I
That tells
absolutely.
you that tells you what the Brewers trade deadline was.
This is one of my 3 biggest losers. You are leading the entire NL. You are like 1 game up on the Cubs. You can make a splash. You can get better. You need bats. And you acquired who? Danny Jansen? A backup catcher to take a little bit of the load off of William Contreras? That's all you did for bat? Yeah, he's got a little bit of pop. He hits maybe 200. Like, that's not the bat you need. Go do something. Like, I know you guys don't buy. I know you guys don't spend big, but you're leading the division and you're leading the entire NL. You're better than the Dodgers right now. Like, go do something. And you didn't. I think you needed back end help. I think you needed um, a little bit of starting pitching. Like, you got rid of Nestor Cortez. Thank goodness. He was awful. Um, you got back Shelby Miller, who has been hurt a lot this season. He's not what he was last year. Um, and you didn't do anything. Like, what are you telling your clubhouse and your fans? Like, this is the definition of like a mega soft buy. Like, you can put this in, shoot, the Angels did more than you. That's
Yeah.
pathetic. That's
Yeah.
an unacceptable deadline. And if I'm a Milwaukee fan, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I'll give him credit that, Danny Jansen is, I think, a better player than people give him credit for. We talked a lot about his days in Toronto when, we knew he was going to get traded, but we didn't know uh, where to. And in St. Louis, we were wondering what catcher we were going to get after Yachty retired, whether it was going to be Danny Jansen, Sean Murphy, or Wilson Contreras. Um, and I think obviously he's not getting a whole lot of playing time, but I do think it is valuable to get William Contreras some DH days, and he's
Yeah,
a better option than Eric Haas or Anthony Siegler.
yeah, and William Contreras hasn't been what he was in the last couple of years either. His numbers are down,
Mm.
his power's down. So getting him some off days on top of that is definitely going to be beneficial to him, whether he likes it or not. We know how the Contreras brothers are. They like to play every day, and they're going to be fiery about it. So I don't think he's going to want days off, but he's going to need some days off down the stretch. So
Yeah,
that's the only good thing I have to say about what Milwaukee did,
yeah,
because
but
I
I do
don't like it at
agree.
all.
I kind of like the Blue Jays. You're the best team in the league. You need to add a superstar, and they just didn't do that. They really needed a bat,
Yes.
and maybe they can do something with Brandon Lockridge. But
Listen, there were bats that didn't get sold on teams that ticked me off that they didn't sell certain players that they could have got. Like in your division, you could have gone out and got Tommy Pham. Like it wouldn't
or
have cost you almost anything.
make a big splash and go get Luis Robert or something.
Yeah,
Luis
do
Robert's a good
something.
player. I don't care what he's been hitting with the White Sox.
And he's
Playing for the
starting to
White
hit a
Sox is
little better.
great
Yeah, I don't want to play for him.
for you.
I mean, for $20 million, I'll play for anybody. But
Yeah. Um, this next one we're gonna try not to be super long-winded. We are gonna be talking about the St. Louis Cardinals.
whew, all
Um,
right,
and
I'll be quick.
they made some trades. They sold. We all knew they were gonna sell as soon as they started losing in July. I think some people had some hope that they were going to start winning in July and they'd still be in the hunt.
Not this person.
Koty didn't. They really wanted him. He wanted them to sell more.
Listen, I wanted him to sell this off season, and they screwed themselves.
Yeah. Uh, but they trade away Ryan Helsley to the New York Mets. They got a really
They
they
got a
got a,
great net.
they got a really good package back for Helsley. I was kind of down on it at the beginning because I compared him to another trade that we're going to talk about later. But I didn't realize how much control that guy had. And Jesus Baez is a very interesting player. I think the issue there is the fit,
I
but
think it's a great fit.
he's also 20 years old and in high A. I think the Cardinals have right now a little bit of a logjam in their infield, and I don't like what this move entails for the future of Brendan Donovan.
Because he's getting traded this offseason.
Because he's probably, I don't know if he's getting traded this offseason, but, you look at the, I just don't like the idea of trading Brendan Donovan at all.
Me
Brendan
neither.
Donovan is the
Extend him.
heartbeat of this team.
He's not gonna be that expensive. He is your team leader. Like he's a heart and soul guy. He hustles. He plays the game the right way. Everything about him is what I love in a baseball player. I love Brendan Donovan, but when this team's ready to contend, Donnie's going to be 33 plus.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Mason Miller thing. Like if you're not going to utilize him the right way or in the right time frame, I think you got to move him. And I hate that because Donnie can play anywhere. And I think any team would want this type of player.
When Brendan Donovan is 33, that's going to be 4 or 5 years from now.
I think that's when the Cardinals are going to compete.
I think it might be a little bit earlier than that.
I don't.
But, you look at Jesus Baez.
What pitching is going to carry this team?
Quinn Matthews. And
who's been hurt all year.
Yeah, well.
Pick another pitcher.
The pitcher
Jacob Roby, who's hurt when Tommy John out for the rest of the year. How about Tink Hens, who also can't stay healthy? William Doyle, okay, fine. One, he is going to get fast-tracked, and that worries me some. But everything that you look at, like, Sonny Gray's got, 2 years left on his contract? He's not going to be around for those good times. You've got Liberatore, who's been pretty good this year. You've got McGreevy, who's finally getting a chance and looks like he could be something.
Michael McGreevy is going to be...
I like Michael McGreevy.
The future, maybe not ace of the team, but he's going to be in the top end.
And you have Andre Palante, who is a roller coaster and has been blowing up a lot lately. So until you get pitching ready to go, and I think all of those guys, okay, cool, maybe they're up next year, maybe they're up in 2 years. They need at least one more year on top of that to be ready to roll, to make a push. And that's 4 years from now that we're talking.
Yeah, and
and Donnie gets you a MLB ready upside pitcher. And that's where I think you have to make that move. As much as I hate it.
Yeah, and talking about this trade, Jesus Baez, you see
him being third.
Yeah, you see him being the third baseman of the future. His numbers at high A haven't really jumped off the page, but what has is his athletic ability and the exit velocity that he has.
Man,
I think he averages about 104 off the bat, which is ridiculous.
Crazy pop.
Especially considering he's not a big guy.
It's only like 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10", like 180, I think.
Please bulk up. Please grow.
Yeah. If he's doing this at 5'10", 180, and he's 20 years old.
What's he going to do at 6'1", 205?
Yeah, I don't know if he's getting to 6'1". He's 20 years old, but...
Let's dream.
But, yeah, you see him being the third baseman in the future. Nate Dome, he is a very interesting piece. 22, also in high A, playing his first year of pro ball, and he has between A ball and high A, he has a 2.87 ERA and 77 strikeouts to 62 and 2/3 innings. Nate Dome is, whenever they're competing, you have dreams of Nate Dome being a big part of that. They also got a guy named Frank Elisalt, who I think is an older reliever, still
26-year-old, and he'll probably be up in 2 years.
Yeah, he's still in high A, and he's a 3-ish ERA. Maybe he's something, maybe he's not. He kind of seems like a throw-in. Mm-hmm. But they also made an interesting move with the Red Sox. And I don't know why the Red Sox made this trade, but I'm not mad at it.
Kyle hates Blaze Jordan.
I don't hate Blaze Jordan. This comes from in the offseason. There were
years of hating Blaze Jordan.
There were rumors that we were going to be trading Nolan Arenado to the Red Sox, and Blaze Jordan was going to be the top return.
Take all of this money, and I'm down with it.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to eat a whole lot of money from Nolan Arenado. or that we were going to get a whole lot of money off of the books from Nolan Arenado. I think we were going to pay a lot of that contract. I wanted some good prospects if we were going to do that. And I don't know why, but I always had this view of Blaze Jordan as like he was hitting 600 OPS or whatever, like not good. But everywhere he's played, he's had a high eights, even sometimes in the 900s OPS. His power isn't necessarily what you expected when he was 11 years old or whatever he was, hitting 500-foot home runs in a home run derby, which that's just stupid. I don't know how he did that, and I don't know how he did that. And now at 22, he has 12 home runs in
Good
in
pitching.
AAA. But Blaze Jordan has really turned into like a hit to all fields kind of guy. He can find the gaps. He can hit home runs where he needs. He's not gonna run the bases doing anything. He's
He's a first baseman.
very slow. He's not gonna play great defense. But when you look at that infield of the future, you got Jesus Baez at third. You hope Mason Wynn 5 years from now is still on the team. I
And
think you
he
got to
wants to
extend
hit
him
a
as
little
soon as
more.
possible. JJ Weatherholt playing second and
Yes.
Blaze Jordan playing first, or Alec Burleson playing first. Blaze Jordan, Alec Burleson, one of them DHing, the other one playing first.
Where's Nolan Gorman?
Um,
Traded.
anyway, uh, I like Nolan Gorman. I still think Nolan Gorman has
He
the
doesn't
ability
look
to
great at third right
do
now.
something, but he is just, it annoys me how average he is. Uh, but you're talking about like as a pretty solid infield, and Blaze Jordan, like I said, is a really good hitter, and you're getting him for 2 months of Steven Matz.
I'll take it.
They also traded Phil Maton, and
I think this is one of the most underrated relievers on the market. He's
I
been
agree.
lights out.
And Phil Maton, you think about what the fact that he didn't sign until spring training. I
Insane.
think Phil Maton might be the biggest all star snub this season,
Yes.
because at least at the time of them announcing the players, he had like a 1.8 ERA or something like that.
He's only given up like one home run all season.
Yeah, I think his ERA right now is in like the low to mid twos. They get a couple nice pitchers for him. Left-hander named Mason Molina, and a right-handed pitcher named Skylar Hales.
I like Hales.
And Skylar Hales, Mason Molina's the 26th prospect in the Cardinals system right now. He's 22 years old. He has pitched pretty well. Split time between A and high A, has a 3.41 ERA. So it was a seventh round pick last year by the Brewers. I'm not even going to try and bother looking at how that happened.
Nope.
We trade him and we got him from the Rangers. Skylar Hales is a guy that we could be seeing in the big leagues this season.
Well, you traded your whole pen, so maybe.
Um, I don't believe he's ranked in the
No,
Cardinals system.
he's not. He was 28th in uh, where did he come from? Texas. In
Texas,
Texas
yeah.
system.
Yeah, he just had a pretty small sample size in AAA, and it hasn't been good. But he's a guy with a lot of potential, and like I said, I think he could be in the big leagues at some point this year.
Yep.
Moving on to the Cubs. The Cubs is a team that I would like to talk a lot about, but we can't really because they didn't really do a whole lot.
Second biggest loser of the deadline.
You just love to say the Brewers and the Cubs are the worst.
Listen, no, I said second and third. There's still a bigger loser, I think. Same thing I said about Milwaukee. The difference is Milwaukee isn't a top 5 market with top 5 market spending money, or the prospect system that the Cubs have to go out and get literally anybody they want, and they did squat. I don't care. Oh, you got a couple of relievers. Cool. I like Andrew Kittredge. One of the Roger brothers. I always forget which is
Taylor,
which. Taylor Rogers.
who's this past 2 days made a tour of the NL Central.
Yeah, which whatever. I, I'm just like looking at it and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like you came into this deadline telling your fans no prospect is untouchable or off limits. You're telling me you can't take Owen Casey and go to, oh, I don't know, Miami and go get Sandy Alcantara or Edward Cabrera. You're telling me you can't go to the D-backs and give up even less and get Zach Gallen, like, or Pittsburgh and getting Mitch Keller, or even making a run at Merrill Kelly. Like, what are we doing? You need starting pitching because I don't care what you got. The only move I liked was Willie Castro because they need help at third because Matt Shaw hasn't been hitting well and he can help out and play there along with anywhere else. But that pitching staff isn't going to win you a series in the playoffs. I love being able to say this as a Cardinals fan because I hate the Cubs, but this isn't me being biased. This is bad. Any of you Cubs fans, if you're watching, tell me I'm wrong. You hate what your team did at this trade deadline because they had every means to go out and make a huge splash, get anyone they want. They could have gotten Mackenzie Gore. They have enough prospects to put that package together to go get Mackenzie Gore. Like, that's crazy to me that you have the means to do all of this and you do nothing. Andrew Kittredge, Taylor Rogers, Willie Castro. Who am I missing?
Michael
I think
Soroka.
Mike Soroka. Don't even tell me there's
Your
your starting
rotation
pitcher.
upgrade.
That's not a rotation upgrade. He couldn't stick in the freaking Atlanta or pitching rotation. Like, what are we doing here? That's a swingman at best, and honestly, he hasn't been great. So, cool. You got some pitching. You're not winning a series, and you were a game out of the best record in baseball with Milwaukee, and you didn't do anything. The NL Central, to me, was the absolute biggest loser in the trade deadline because the two best teams who are leading the NL did nothing in comparison to what they could have and should have done. They were my second and third biggest losers.
I don't know if I necessarily think the Cubs are that high on my list of losers. Like I said, I think Willie Castro is a good utility type player who will probably play a lot of third base because Matt Shaw still hasn't figured out in the big leagues yet. I think they needed to upgrade their bullpen, and they did that. I just think it's going to be hard to win the playoffs without Justin Steele and without upgrading your rotation.
Who are you throwing game one?
Why am I blanking on his name? The Japanese guy.
Shota Imanaga.
Shota Imanaga, yeah.
Who are you throwing game two?
Yeah.
There you go. You don't have a 2, let alone, like, you don't have a 3, let alone a 2. Like, what?
Yeah.
You think you're going to hit your way through this?
Yeah, Michael Soroka is a swingman.
And not a great one.
He can't be your rotation upgrade.
Right now, your number 2 is Matthew Boyd.
Who, granted, has been pretty good.
Your number 3 is Jamison Tyon, who's on the 15-day IL. Your number 4 is Cade Horton, and your number 5 is Michael Soroka. Tell me again that rotation is going to do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, we will see on that.
Losers.
Next, we're moving on to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and good on the Diamondbacks for getting off of Jordan Montgomery's contract, but they actually did some things too. They just aren't things that you love if you're a Diamondbacks fan because they're all selling. They got rid of Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, both going to the Mariners.
And I think those were light returns.
Tyler Locklear
I
He's
like
very good.
Locklear, but I still think it's light returns for there supposedly being a bidding war for Suarez. I still think that they should have done better.
Yeah, they also
And I
got
thought
some.
Naylor was light return.
They got some pretty nice pitching prospects for Naylor.
The only trade I really liked their return was Merrill Kelly. All the other ones were at best.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly going to the Rangers. I believe there's still a little bit of control left for Merrill Kelly, right? Or is he a
No,
free agent? Is he a free agent next year?
he's going right back to Arizona.
That would be awesome for the Diamondbacks because they got
It's that's what he's going to do.
three top 20 prospects in their system back for him, I
Yeah, number
believe.
7, Cole Drake was the big one.
Yeah, they got a couple. Uh, they got a couple really nice pitching prospects.
Was Brandon Garcia part of that one?
No, he was Josh Naylor.
Okay. Okay, the Naylor one wasn't bad because they also got Ashton Izzy and with Brandon Garcia, some
Yeah, I
decent.
didn't love
Okay.
I didn't love the return for Eugenio Suarez, but I liked the return for the other two.
They got Juan Burgos right out of that one.
Yeah.
He's the 25th prospect, and Hunter Cranton is the 23rd.
Yeah,
So
Cole Drake has been really good this year in Double A. Pitched a little bit in Triple A, still trying to figure it out. Mitch Bratt has
they
pitched
got
really
Brett Pratt.
again pitched really well in Double A. He is currently the number 10 prospect in the Diamondback system. He's only 22. Cole Drake is a little bit older, but I think he's 25. Um, but both of those guys you could see in the big leagues next year. I imagine we probably will. And then who am I missing from that trade?
Which
From,
one?
from the Merrill Kelly trade? David Hageman.
Hageman.
He is the 14th prospect. Hasn't pitched a whole lot in pro ball. He was drafted in the fourth round last year. Uh, between rookie ball and high A, he's pitched 22 and a third innings, and has a 2.82 ERA through 8 starts. So he hasn't been going super deep. He had elbow injury last year and got the internal brace surgery. But I really do like the Merrill Kelly return, and I like the Josh Naylor return too. I just
It's better looking at it than I thought. I still have one more issue with Arizona.
which is
Why is Zach Gallen still on your team?
yeah. Um,
The starting pitching market was so bare. You traded Merrill Kelly for 3 top 20 prospects, and you held on to Zach Gallen. Oh, he's been a little bit down lately. I don't care.
this is your last chance to get something for him.
You're not re-signing him. Why are you holding on to him? Like,
Yeah,
there was no starting pitching on the market. You could have got a king's ransom for him still,
The
and
Yankees or
you're
the
holding on to him,
Cardinals could have really used him, and
which is why the Cubs are idiots.
yeah,
Go
and
get
now
Zach Allen.
he's just probably going to sign with one of them in the offseason.
Shh, don't say that. Come back to
um,
St. Louis.
yeah.
We're not spending money.
Moving on to the Dodgers. The Dodgers, they didn't do a lot, but they did what they needed to do. They didn't really need a whole lot of an upgrade. They made a very convoluted trade with the Rays and the Reds. And they got uh Paul Gervais, who's a reliever, Adam Serwanowski, who I know nothing about, um, and Ben Rortvet, who's a backup catcher, uh, who they just have a backup catcher now with, I believe, options. Maybe he doesn't even have options, but they traded away Hunter Fiducia, who used to be a top prospect, but he's, I think, 28 years old now, so he's kind of just never had an opportunity there, especially with Will Smith there. And that was all for that trade. They trade away Dustin May, And they got back James Tibbs. I don't know how that happened, and I
I don't
don't know
either.
why the Red Sox let that happen. But James Tibbs is probably going to be a superstar now, if he wasn't destined to
For
be
the
already.
Dodgers.
And they got him for 2 months of Dustin May, who I don't.
Kyle doesn't like Dustin May either.
We just have been talking about potential for 10 years with him.
His stuff is filthy. A lot of tools. I don't know if he's got the toolbox.
Yeah, he throws 100, which good for him.
And he's
What
got
are
a
you,
nasty slider.
what are you doing with that though? Like he's fine. The last few
Not
years,
hitting
I
the
think he
zone.
started to figure it out a little bit, but I'm not as high on Dustin May as a lot of people are.
Yeah. We'll talk about him more with the Red Sox.
Yeah, and then
But steal to get Tibbs.
they traded James Outman, who I believe was just out of options.
Yeah.
So they need to do something with him.
And he's hitting
They
like a buck 54.
Yeah, they traded him to the Twins, and they got back Brock Stewart, who's a solid reliever. And then they immediately replaced James Outman with options.
Alex Wall.
Alex Call. Um, the Dodgers didn't do a whole lot. You don't really need to with the offseason that they had.
No, they spent $100 million on the bullpen, and you went and got Brock Stewart, who used to pitch for you. He's capable of pitching in LA, and he's got years of control. So they did the very little that they needed to do. And with Dustin May leaving, like you got a really good former last year's first round pick back in return for Dustin May, who you're not going to re-sign, and you're supposedly getting all of your pitchers back in the next couple of weeks. So makes sense.
Yeah, their trade deadline acquisition is going to be Blake Snell, who is looking ridiculous right now in his rehab assignment. He's striking out 19-year-olds with just throwing his fastball.
It's not fair.
And yeah. Just so you guys know, if you hear anything in the background, like loud people, I have a lot of roommates, too many roommates, and I don't think they know right now I'm filming this. So, hi.
My kids just went to bed, so we should be good.
Next, we're going to talk about the San Francisco Giants. And the Giants thought they were going to be competing earlier this year when they traded for Rafael Devers, and then they didn't. And so they decided to sell. They sent Mike Yastrzemski to the Kansas City Royals, which, I don't believe Junior Marte is going to be anything. I don't think he's ranked. Is he ranked in their system? No.
I don't think he's ranked in Kansas City's either.
Yeah. And then they also traded Camilo Doval to the Yankees. And we're going to talk about the Yankees deadline. But on the Giants side of things, I think they got a pretty good return for them.
Did they get back? I can't even remember.
They got back catcher Jesus Rodriguez, right-handed pitcher Tristan Vryling, third baseman Parks Harbor, and left-handed pitcher Carlos De La Rosa. And I'm pretty sure 3 of those guys are ranked in the Giants' top 30.
De La Rosa's 24. Who else?
They got Jesus Rodriguez, Tristan Vryling, and Parks Harbor. I think Jesus Rodriguez and Parks Harbor might both be in the top 30.
Jesus Rodriguez is 16.
Yeah, we know nothing about him.
He's a catcher, third baseman.
Yeah.
AAA, 23 years old.
He's not 16.
He's hitting 300 in AAA in 78 games.
Junior Marte is in the top 30, by the way. The guy they got for Mike Yastrzemski. He's 25 in the system.
Okay.
He's 21 years old. A-ball has a 2.74 ERA. with 79 strikeouts and 82 innings. So,
Not bad.
yeah, maybe we'll get something from him.
I mean, I like the returns.
Yeah,
I think they
Jesus
did well.
Rodriguez is 23. He's not 16. Uh, or did you say that about?
No, number 16 in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe he's hitting pretty well. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
300.
800-ish OPS this year, split between Double A and Triple A. Most of that in Triple A. So Jesus Rodriguez seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And then who else was I looking at? Carlos De La Rosa. Carlos De La Rosa is 17, so we actually don't know anything about him. He
Yeah.
has a 5.32 ERA and 22 innings at rookie ball.
Great.
36 strikeouts. So
Potential.
yeah, how hard does he throw? 92, 94.
Oh, not my guess.
Um,
I just assume all the kids throw 100 now.
yeah, 5'11", 178.
Ooh, yeah.
But he's striking dudes out, so that's fun.
He's also 17 though, so
He's also 17. Yeah.
he can still throw.
The Cleveland Guardians, they did nothing.
Literally nothing.
They traded Shane Bieber and they got back
Oh,
Paul Stevens.
I don't like it.
Which I think he's ranked in their system, is he not? Cleveland Guardians. Paul Stevens. Yeah, Paul Stevens is the seventh best prospect in their system.
Okay.
I thought he was pretty good.
He is 9-1 this year, but that's in high A and A ball.
High A and yeah, A and A ball and high A.
He's pitched one game in Double A, went 4 innings, gave up 2 home runs.
This is why I was confused on why you didn't love the Shane Bieber trade. Like, it's 2 months of Shane Bieber. I don't know if he's re-signing a long-term deal with them. And they got back.
He goes back to Cleveland. That's all he's really known.
Yeah.
And they love him.
He might go back to Cleveland, but they got back a guy who I was really high on last year in the draft out of Mississippi State. Doesn't throw super hard, only throws 92 to 94, it says. He's got a nice pitch mix. Got a change-up, slider, curveball. He's gonna be a big league pitcher probably next year.
I mean, if he comes back and signs with them, and you got Paul Stevens,
that's a win.
That's a win. Like, this is one of those could be a win-win for both teams. Like, if Bieber comes back and looks like he did, Toronto's got a steal because he helps them win in the playoffs. If Bieber comes back to Cleveland, double win.
Yeah. They also sent Paul Sewald to the Tigers for nothing.
Yeah, well, Paul Sewald's been awful this year, so.
Next we have the Seattle Mariners. We talked about what they gave up for their trades, which I believe the only trades they made were Suarez and Josh Naylor. They also got Caleb Ferguson.
Yeah.
From the Pirates.
Yeah.
Which, a nice lefty reliever.
They needed a better bullpen piece, and they didn't get it.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, good for Seattle for realizing that in order to win baseball games, you have to score runs.
Yeah, because they don't know how to do that.
Yeah. If only the Pirates and the Reds and all these other teams that could be good if they hit the ball learned that. Please, this is a Cardinals fan pleading with you. Please, Pirates, score Paul Skeens a run every once in a while.
Yeah, pass. I'm not as high on this as most people are. I like the trade. Like, they filled the needs that they needed to fill. They needed bats. I think they needed a big time back of the bullpen piece, and they didn't get that. Caleb Ferguson's, a piece, but he's not a piece that I think makes a difference. But you get Josh Naylor, you get Eugenio Suarez. I think your return for Eugenio Suarez was a little light. So yeah, you gave up Locklear, which you know he's a first baseman who can hit. Why didn't you just keep him in the first place instead of going and getting Naylor? Maybe he's not quite big league ready. I get it. Um, I like what they did to go get Naylor, but Suarez didn't really hit for them in the past, and I'm not as high on Suarez as everyone else is. I don't know, just something about him. Like he's had a great year up to this point, but he didn't hit in the past in Seattle. He doesn't have a good glove in the field. Naylor also doesn't have a good glove in the field. That infield's a little suspect now. And it doesn't seem to matter who goes to Seattle. It seems like that backdrop, the hitter's eye, just screws with everyone and no one can figure out how to hit there.
Yeah, Seattle's a really tough place to hit. I think I'm not as high on Josh Naylor as a lot of people are, but Josh Naylor is a solid piece. I just don't think he can be one of your only pieces at the deadline, but he is an upgrade. So to their offense.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that. Eugenio Suarez is really interesting because it depends on the year really when if Eugenio Suarez can hit. Because I remember when people were losing their minds over him hitting 50 home runs or whatever it is when he was with the Reds, but that was also in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Great American Small Park.
Yeah, but this year he has 36 home runs already. He has the most home runs by any player who has been traded at the deadline, beating out Mark McGwire in 1997 when he got traded to the Cardinals. Um, he's been having a great year, but like you said, he led the league in strikeouts and didn't really do a whole lot when he was with the Mariners the last time, which he got traded from the Mariners to the Diamondbacks, and now he's getting traded from the Diamondbacks back to the Mariners. Um, I don't know if it is going to work this time either, but he's a year older now. He has a little bit more,
That's what
a
we're going with. He's a
little bit more
year
dirt in the
older,
spikes. Look,
a year wiser.
I'm trying to give the Mariners as much of the benefit of the doubt as I can because he played for the Mariners last year, right? And then this
Yeah.
past off season was when he got to.
Yeah. And my struggle is it's Seattle, and we know what happens with Seattle when the playoffs hit.
Yeah, well, that's why they're trying to hit the ball. So,
I mean, they've got the pitching to do it, at least the
um,
starters to do it. So we'll see.
2023 was the last year he was with the Mariners. He did play for the Diamondbacks last year, and he
Okay,
was 115 OPS plus.
a little
Um,
above league average. Okay,
yeah, he's played this year. He had a 141 or 142 with the Diamondbacks, and then got traded to the Mariners. And he's played 2 games, and he's 2 for 8 with a double. So
sounds about right.
it's also been
Welcome
two
back to
games.
Seattle.
So we'll see how that turns out. I hope this puts the Mariners over the top, but um, the Marlins, the
Listen, they're a
Marlins,
sneaky good team.
the Marlins' only move was they traded Jesus Sanchez. Why did they get back 3 players for Jesus Sanchez? Am I thinking of Brian De La Cruz? Uh,
No,
why
you're
it's
thinking of Jesus Sanchez.
mind
Jesus
blowing to me that
Sanchez
they
is
got back three
younger than
players.
Taylor Cruz.
Um, I was about to just completely skip over the Mariners. Are any of these guys in their top 30 prospects?
Who'd
Ryan
they get?
Gusto. They
Yes,
got
I believe. Let's see.
um I see one of the guys. Number 15, Chase Jaworski.
Oh, Jace Jaworski. Yeah,
He's 21 years old, shortstop, second baseman. He's 6'1", 171, so he has room to put some size on, which he kind of needs because he hasn't been hitting for power. 359 slugging percentage and a 712 OPS at high A.
that's it. Everyone else is outside the top 30.
Okay. Uh, yeah, he's a defense guy and can steal bases. but we'll see if he can put on more size and learn how to hit for power because
I
he can.
kind of like that the Marlins didn't trade everybody. Like,
Um,
this is a team that's only 6 games out of the wild card. And did you see their insane comeback yesterday?
yeah. Were they
We'll talk
down?
about all those relievers
Yeah.
in a segment soon. But that was
Was it
crazy.
against the Yankees that they? I thought that was a different.
Yes, it was against the Yankees. All 8 of those runs against players the Yankees just traded for, which we'll talk about.
That's hilarious. uh, but yeah, there was an. I think I'm thinking of like the Rockies and the Pirates or something. That the score
Oh,
was
that
like
was like
19.
17-16.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
Pirates scored 9 runs in the first inning and lost.
yeah. Yikes.
The very Pirates thing to do.
um. Yeah,
Who's
I
next?
I like that they didn't trade Sandy, just because Sandy, I think he needs to have a little bit more of a run of success before he gets traded, and I think that if he does that over the next 2 months, they could get more for him in the offseason.
Screw it. Keep him. Keep Yuri Perez. Keep um, Edward Cabrera, and roll out a good team.
If they do
Like,
that, and
these
when
kids
they
are grinding and playing solid. Let them ride. Let's see what happens.
if they do
I like
that
it.
and they got rid of Skip Schumacher for no reason, I'm gonna lose my mind. I love Skip Schumacher.
Come back, Skip. We love you.
Um, the New York Mets, uh, they got a new
Ultimate
bullpen.
winner. Ultimate winner of the trade deadline. Number one. That's my
Yeah.
biggest winner.
So we talked about the Ryan Helsley trade already. It's 2 months of Ryan Helsley, and he came in for the ninth inning the other day. So maybe he
Struck out
might,
3.
yeah, he might be the closer there if they
And he struck
don't.
out 3, then they went to extras, and then Edwin Diaz blew it.
Okay, so he's gonna be the eighth inning guy. I didn't know the game was
Yeah,
tied.
game was
Uh,
tied 1-1.
they also got
Their
Kyle.
their Hell's Bells entrance with him is definitely not as cool as St. Louis with the
Oh
red
no,
out.
I love the red.
It's sick. Come
Um,
back so we can have it.
but not for a Josh Hader deal.
No, I'm not paying you over $15 million. I already told you that.
I asked Koty before what it because there's rumors that Ryan Helsley would want to come back to St. Louis. I asked him how much money is too much money, and I told him Josh Hader's contract, which was 5 for 95. He was
No.
like, no on all counts. I was like, so you don't want Ryan Helsley back?
5 for 65 is the absolute most I would give him. It's 5 years, 15 million. I don't like paying closers a lot of money. I don't like paying relievers in general for
That's
more than
75. Five for
or
seven.
five. Oh, mm, uh, that's a lot.
65 is 13 a year.
13. We'll go with that. I like that better.
That's
But
not.
I don't like giving relievers in general more than a 2-year deal because they're so volatile from year to year.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
let's talk about their other
also they,
pitchers.
they also acquired Tyler Rogers. Both Rogers got traded within an hour of each other.
This is the lefty.
Yeah, this is the lefty, not the one who is dragging his
Submarines,
knuckles
insane. Yeah.
on the ground and throws 80 miles an hour. The players that they traded to the Giants for Tyler Rogers, who I don't even think
Insane haul.
I don't think we talked about him during the Giants uh segment, but
We talked about who the Giants got, I think.
I don't think we did for Tyler Rogers. I think we did
Oh,
for the other
they
trade.
got the biggest haul ever.
Yeah.
It
Blake
was crazy.
Tidwell, Blake Tidwell and Drew Gilbert are both outside of the top 10
They're
in
like 10 and 12.
they were 10 and 12 in the Mets system. I think Drew Gilbert's 13. I don't know what Blake Tidwell is right now, but they were both considered top prospects in the Giants system at one point. And the fact that they got both of them
Bidwell's
and
12, Gilbert's 13.
okay. And then the fact that they got them and Jose Buto, I think.
Jose Buto.
Uh
Buto.
Buto, something along those lines.
Buto.
We're Midwestern. We don't know
That's
a
not
lot of
true. Don't speak for yourself. It's Jose Buto, and
Jose
he's
Buto.
already going to be in their bullpen, and he's going to be a good piece, and he's only like 26 years old.
Yeah. For all the lies that Koty tells about players that I don't like. Any player from the University of Tennessee qualifies as players I don't like, and I will say that straight up.
AKA two of the top three pitchers the Cardinals drafted this year.
Yeah, yikes. So I would love if Drew Gilbert wasn't good, and it kind of makes it a decent trade for the Mets.
Mm.
But that's a
I just want
lot for
that's
Tyler Rogers.
way too much.
They also made a couple trades with the Orioles. They got Gregory Soto, and
You
they
get
got
your
Cedric
lefty,
Mullins.
and you get an everyday outfielder. I like it.
Um, Tyler Rogers is the submarine pitcher.
Yes.
Did we say he was the lefty earlier?
Yeah. He's not.
Um,
He's the righty.
yeah, he's the righty that throws submarine.
He throws a
Why are
rising
there
slider,
why are there twins in the big leagues that keep getting either put on the same team or traded on the same day?
and they both start with T, and they throw from different
They're
sides,
the
and they
same
throw
name.
different stuff.
Taylor and
Like
Tyler? Are you
it's
kidding
dumb.
me?
All
Um,
you parents who name your kids the exact same name, sorry, I don't like you.
especially if they're twins.
Yeah, I'm
The
here for
Gregory Soto
fighting words.
return, uh, Wellington Arasena is a ridiculous arm. I think they're gonna try and have him start. I don't like that. I
He's
don't
gonna
like
go to
it
the
when
bullpen.
yeah, I don't like having starters who throw triple digits unless it's a
Paul
guy
Skeens.
kind of like Jordan Hicks, even though Jordan Hicks hasn't been good as a starter, that like knows how to dial it back. Like I think Paul Skeens is gonna blow his arm out at some point,
Yeah, he might.
and I don't want to put that juju out there
Uh,
because the MLB is better with Paul Skeens in it, regardless of.
Unless he goes to like the Yankees or the Cubs, then blow your arm out all you want.
um
You still got Livy Dunn. He'll be okay.
yeah. Yeah, and they also got Cameron Foster, who I think isn't considered a prospect, which I know he's older than
Uh,
me, so good. Um, and then as for the Cedric Mullins trade, uh, they got some guys. They got Ramon Gomez and Anthony Nunez and Chandler Marsh are all right-handed pitchers.
there you go. Can never have enough pitching.
Yeah, are any of them in the top 30 for the Orioles?
Um, Say him again. Marsh,
Uh,
Nunez.
Anthony Nunez, Ramon Gomez, and Chandler Marsh.
Anthony Nunez is 24.
And is he the only one?
Double A, 24, right-handed pitcher. Um, he's only pitched, I don't know. He's a bullpen guy.
Yeah,
He had
and he's
10
and he's
games in high A, 22 games in double A. He's been really good. Really good.
yeah, and he's 24, so he is dangerously close to my rule. But
Yeah, and he's got to grade it out as a 60 slider and 60 changeup.
that'll play.
So
Um,
he's got some filthy stuff.
Wellington Arasena is ranked 22, by the way.
Oh, missed that one.
He's the
Oh,
Gregory
he was from
Soto.
the other trade.
Yeah, so the
He's
Mets
20.
got better. Uh, Good for them because we talked about
Listen,
how like having a nasty bullpen with a bunch of different uh like a bunch of different arm angles, a bunch of different stuff like
you're
that.
gonna see something different from everyone.
Yeah. It's like you need a lot of different looks with a lot of different speeds, and they have that now. They have Gregory Soto, who's a lefty and who is at least a league average reliever. You have whatever Rogers just got traded to the Mets, who is throwing from the ground, but throws 80 miles an hour. And then you have
With
Ryan
a
Helsley and
rising
Edwin
slider.
Diaz, yeah, with a rising slider. And then you have Ryan
Stupid.
Helsley and Edwin Diaz in the eighth and ninth, who are going to throw 100 with a nasty slider, as long as Ryan Helsley doesn't overuse it. So the Mets are set up
They're my
very
big winner.
Um, moving on to the Washington Nationals, we talked about them trading away
Alex
uh,
Call.
Alex Call. We talked about them trading away Chafin and Luis
Ruiz.
Garcia.
Or Garcia.
We
Ruiz
talked
Garcia.
about them trading away Michael Soroka. They also traded Kyle Finnegan to the Detroit Tigers, and I believe they got a pretty nice return. A couple of righties, R.J. Sales and Josh Randall. I don't think either of them are ranked in the top 30, but I think
Yeah.
they both have some sort of potential. Um, and then they also, uh, who else did they trade? They traded one
They
more
didn't
person.
trade Josh Bell.
They didn't trade Josh Bell. That's stupid to me. Um, so what Josh Bell is the new version of Tommy Pham because Tommy Pham goes to a different team every
Except this
year
year,
who's bad and gets traded somewhere good. Normally,
the
Josh Bell,
Pirates threw the pooch. So
yeah, Josh Bell is a Tommy Pham, but in a different way because he normally sucks for the first 3 or 4 months of the season, gets sent to somewhere as like a throwaway piece, and starts balling out. Like I think there was one year he was with the Marlins and he was terrible and he got traded to like he got packaged with Khalil Watson, who was a top prospect at that point. Got traded to the Guardians for Gene Segura, who immediately got DFA'd, or it might be vice versa. I can't remember what order it was. But then he balled out, and they're like, "Oh, Josh Bell can play baseball."
he can hit a
Um,
ball
yeah, and he hasn't been doing
on
that.
both sides of the plate.
So maybe that's why, because no one wanted him, and no one wanted the roller coaster of him. But Josh Bell is very valuable
And,
for a playoff run because that's when he chooses to be good at baseball.
and yeah, there's no reason he should be on that team still. That's my big issue with what Washington did is Josh Bell should not be on that team. I'm glad they held on to Mackenzie Gore. You don't trade that piece. He is the centerpiece of your rotation when you're ready, along with all of the other young kids you got in the Soto deal.
Yeah. The Baltimore Orioles. They we've talked
So
about basically all of their trades. They sold big time. Um, the only
except for
ones we
Ryan Mountcastle,
yeah we haven't they
he
haven't
didn't
traded
get
Ryan
traded.
Mountcastle, which I believe he's a free agent. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, he's the one they've been talking about all year trading, and then they didn't.
Um, real quick on the ones that we didn't. Uh,
Did we talk about O'Hearn and
we haven't yet.
Laureano? Okay.
But real quick, uh, just to mention the names, um, of the ones we haven't talked about. Twine Palmer is the Ramon Arias deal. I can't imagine my computer's being stupid.
No, he's not ranked.
He's not. I couldn't imagine he was. Um, who else did they trade? Cedric Mullins. We talked about his return. Andrew Kittredge was Wilfrey De La Cruz,
Not ranked. I
not
don't believe.
ranked. Uh, can my computer stop with the? I'm trying to scroll down, and Wilfrey De La Cruz is 20 ranked 23, but he's a
Oh,
17-year-old in rookie ball who has an 895 OPS. So good for him, but we don't know anything about him
yeah.
because he's 17. Um, the only ones we haven't, I believe that's all of them that the
Yeah.
returns we haven't traded, but the only ones we haven't talked about, Charlie Morton got traded to the Tigers. Why the Tigers wanted him? Good question.
We'll talk about Detroit in a little bit.
Yeah. They got Micah Ashman in return, who I can't imagine they
No,
gave someone who's ranked for 41-year-old Charlie
no.
Morton.
Might as
And
well have gone
then
and picked up 45-year-old Rich Hill because the Royals DFA'd him.
he already played for the Orioles. He won't break the record there. Uh,
Yeah, Detroit.
oh, Detroit, he would. Um, and then there was the big trade that the Orioles made. And we're going to talk about the big leaguers on another team. But they trade Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano and they got back the entire Padres farm system.
that they didn't already trade.
Yeah. Um and I think multiple of them are top ranked
Yes,
prospects. I believe the top one is Boston Bateman.
he is good.
Boston Bateman is the sixth
He's
ranked
their number
prospect in the
six.
Orioles system.
He's 6'8", 240 as a what 20-year-old,
19.
19. He's filthy.
And he's not even in rookie ball. They want to send him straight to A ball.
He's
Uh,
filthy.
he has a 4.08 ERA, which
I believe
he's
he was
like,
a second round pick last year.
yeah. Uh, he's 19. They didn't put him in rookie ball. The kid's ridiculous, and the fact that uh, I guess they did give up a lot with Ryan
They
O'Hearn
get.
and Ramon Laureano, but um, the fact that this they got this guy back
I
is
think I
fine.
think Laureano might have a club option, and O'Hearn is a free agent though.
Um,
Pretty
so
sure
I'm just gonna
Laureano's
go
a club option.
through this list and see who's ranked. Tanner Neighbors, I don't believe is ranked.
No,
We're not gonna talk about him.
Tanner Tyson,
Tyson Neighbors doesn't matter. Tanner
not
Smith
ranked.
is who I was looking at. Tanner Smith is the next one.
No,
And Tanner Smith is not ranked. Um, no offense to these guys, but we're gonna try and get through all these players as fast as possible because they got
yep.
6 players back for some
All
reason.
right, next
Brandon Butterworth, who I think is ranked.
Butterworth, great name.
Um, Brandon
Brandon Butterworth
Butterworth
is not ranked.
is not ranked. Is the other shortstop ranked?
Yeah,
Cobb Hightower. Yeah,
Cobb Hightower's 21,
yeah. He is 20
20
years
years
old,
old and A-ball.
middle infielder in A ball, 674 OPS. He seems like he's a defense speed guy.
I don't even know if
Um,
he's that. His fielding's graded out as a 45.
yeah, his hitting tools considered better.
Yeah, he's got speed though. He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's also 20 years old, so we'll
Yeah,
cut him some slack with
maybe
that.
he moves out to the outfield with that speed.
Yeah. And then Victor Figueroa.
Figueroa is not ranked.
He's not ranked. So it's really just the main piece is Boston Bateman.
Boston Bateman, and he's
Um,
good. He is
which
very good.
so good on the Padres too for giving up quantity and not quality in this trade, but they kind of gave up both
Well,
throughout the line. We'll talk about
here's
them.
here's the here's the thing. The more I looked at what the Orioles did at this deadline, the more I think they're a winner of a seller. Like if you look at what they got back in this deadline, number 6 Boston Bateman, number 9 John Watts Brown, um, number 21 Cobb Hightower, number 22 Wellington Arcena, number 23 Wilfrey De La Cruz, number 24 Anthony Nunez, number 28 Josh Lorenzo, I believe, came back in one of the deals. Like they got good pieces. And if you look at almost every single one of those outside of like Cobb Hightower, all of them are pitchers. And what is Baltimore not able to produce or sign? Pitchers. Everything they've got all the position players in the world, and they refuse to trade any for pitching. And what did they do here? They picked up a lot of pitching. So the more and more I look at what the Orioles did, I think they might have been the best seller at the deadline.
Yeah, I I think the A's came out pretty well.
The A's came out really well, but Boston Bateman, man, I think he's going to be good.
And while we're talking about this trade, we can talk about the other side too, because the Padres are next.
Oh, good. Can I
So
give my fun stat?
yes, you can.
Just tell everybody what players they acquired, and I'll tell them my fun fact afterwards.
So the players that they acquired They didn't acquire anyone until the deadline, which was Thursday. In that time, they got Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, Nestor Cortez, a shortstop prospect. Uh, they got uh,
Ready for me.
Freddie Fermin. They got Mason Miller. They got J.P. Sears. They got Will Wagner. Um, and they got rid of Martin Maldonado, which good for them. Uh, so what? Give me your fun. I might have missed a player or two,
I
but
think
give
no, I
me.
think that's all of it. Here's what San Diego traded to get that. Now, with that being said, all of them except for Ryan O'Hearn has club control. And outside of Laureano, who only has 1 year team option, I think they all have at least 3 more years of club control after this. So you got to give up to get that club control for these players, um, especially when we're talking about Mason Miller, who's the best pitcher that got traded. They gave up in their farm system their number 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 12, 13, 17, 26, and 29 prospects. And that's just those ranked inside the top 30. They also gave up like 5 or 6 more prospects.
Yeah, they
And the
did get
number
back.
1 prospect is the number 3 overall prospect in baseball.
Yeah, they did get back number 16, which in their system, which is a shortstop, third
Good.
baseman who's like a mid hitter right now and is 18 years old. He has potential, but he's a long way away. He's still in rookie ball.
Yeah.
It's more about the big league pieces, which
Yes.
if you look at what the Padres needed,
They got everything.
they got everything. They got a left fielder. They got catching help. I don't know if Freddie Fermin is necessarily what we were looking for from the Padres.
But you've got somebody that can split time with Elias Diaz.
Yeah, they got a defensive catcher because he only played like 65 games last year and he was somehow a Gold Glove finalist. So
Yeah, he's
someone
good.
likes him on defense. Um, they got back. Did they get a reliever outside of Mason Miller? No, they just have relievers because they have.
No,
Uh, Hugh-
Morahan and
yeah,
Suarez.
yeah, and I think one other really good one too that I'm blanking on for some reason.
I don't know.
Um,
He'll probably beat the Cardinals tonight. He's
um,
probably in right now beating us.
yeah, they got uh, Will Wagner's in the minor leagues, but for like I said, from what I heard, he was a one of those like glue guys in the Blue Jays clubhouse. So if he can get to the big leagues at some point soon, good for him. He's just on a team that is loaded right now. Ramon Laureano is a lot better hitter than I remembered him being. Um, and they got J.P. Sears, which is rotation help. They didn't trade Dylan Cease, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. Um, I don't think Dylan Cease is the same player that we thought he was going to be in the previous few years. Oh, hey, Ramon Laureano just tripled and scored a run.
Yeah.
Uh, while we're talking about him, but uh,
Mhm.
yeah, Dylan Cease. I'm just glad they didn't trade him because the Padres went all in. And that all that is not even including the prize of the deadline. They got Mason Miller. They're going to try and convert him back into a starter. And I don't love it because
I do.
he has such an electric arm. Like I said, I don't like guys throwing that hard being in the rotation.
Listen, you
Especially
don't know that he doesn't know how to scale it back. He hasn't had
he
to.
scaled it back. He did scale it back when he was starting in Oakland, but he also wasn't good. Maybe he
He's figured it out.
can learn how to start. Ruben Niebla, I think, is the pitching coach in San Diego, and he is credited for a lot of the pitching success in Cleveland from back when he was there.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know. I do think they're gonna have him and as the closer for the rest of the year, and he's gonna be nasty, and that bullpen's gonna be nasty. I think the Padres right now are my favorite to win the World Series. I've had to think a lot
Sold.
about that. I think the Padres are my favorite to win the World Series.
I
It's
don't know if I
because,
like their starting pitching enough.
yeah, I mean JP Sears is kind of a
If
throw-in when you look at that
my
deal.
problem is, can they stack up against the starting pitching with Philly or LA if they're healthy?
But you don't need great starting pitching necessarily in the playoffs.
I mean, if you give up 4 or 5 runs in the first 5 innings, it doesn't matter.
That's true. Um, Also a piece that isn't part of the trade deadline, but I think is a huge piece is I think they have the most underrated manager in baseball. They have Mike Schilt, and I think I miss him. Like I I don't think Ali Marmol is as bad as Cardinals fans make him out to be.
No,
He's
he's
not the
not. But
worst manager
Schultz
in
is
baseball,
freaking
like that
awesome.
one stupid athletic article said, because a bunch of people said, I hate the Cardinals, whoever their manager is, let's go with that. Uh,
Schultz a
but
stud.
yeah, Mike Schill is a player's manager. He knows he's a baseball guy. If anyone can figure out how to navigate not having the best starting rotation, uh, with all the other pieces they have, it's him. Um, I may go on the record. I don't know if I'll necessarily say he's the best manager in baseball. I think he's close though. Um, it's first episode. I'm not trying to do all my bold
I
takes.
love me some Tito.
Eh, he's cool.
Oh,
I
that's where you gotta go.
I think
Eh?
I think Tito's a great manager.
No.
I
Well,
don't know
your
if right now
response of
he's
eh,
I don't know
like
if
he's
right
not
now he's
good.
the best manager in baseball. Maybe he is. He could be. I Yeah. He's another player's manager. I think about what he did in Boston. But he was like 40 years old, and I want to say he's like
70.
an old an old dude that is out of touch, but he still is really fun, and
Yeah.
he's doing a lot with a really young Reds team.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the Padres are the most improved team. I just can't really say they're a winner of the deadline. Are they the winner of the deadline? I still haven't
No.
made up
New
my
York
mind.
Mets.
And the only reason why I haven't made up my mind is because of how much they gave up. They
They
gave up
gave up
quality
so
and
much.
quantity.
But
But the Padres
they
are
grow
so
players well.
good. Yeah, the Padres are so good at developing players, and AJ Preller is wild, but he knows what he's doing.
He gives up a lot, and they still are able to give up their whole farm system again like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So they'll probably just restock the cupboard and be perfectly fine, just like the Dodgers.
I'm not even going to try to name how many prospects he's given up that's turned into amazing players. But for every Trey Turner he gives up, he gets back a Fernando Tatis Jr., who was a nobody in the White Sox farm system, and traded him for James Shields,
Oh,
on the
big
18th,
game James.
who was on the 18th hole of his career, and they developed Fernando Tatis Jr. into what he is now in I think 2 years. So
Well, he put on weight and grew. He
yeah,
had no power, and then he got power.
Padres probably did something with that. Moving on to the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Philadelphia Phillies,
Very
um,
simple, very effective.
yeah, they trade for Harrison Bader.
Love him.
Um, I love him. I think they gave up a good amount for him. We have Hendry Mendez and Jeremy Vioria, which, if I'm not mistaken, those are both ranked
I
guy.
think so. Mendez definitely is.
Um, Henry Mendez is number 20. He's 21 years old, 6'3", 175. In Double A,
He'll put on
800
some weight.
800 OPS. He's kind of a corner outfield DH kind of guy, and he especially will be as he puts on size because he's 6'3", 175, according
That is
to.
a beanpole.
I think that's a lie. Looking at his picture, but it's
He
just
thick?
he seems like he bulked up a little bit. I'm not
Okay.
saying like he's fat or anything, but he doesn't look 175 because
He put on some man strength.
yeah. Uh, who was the other guy that I said? Uh,
VARs.
Jeremy Villarreal. Uh, he I don't believe is
I
ranked.
don't remember seeing his name.
Yeah, so Harrison Bader is great at hitting against lefties. He's still a great defender. He's not old by any means. He's I think 30 or 31.
Yeah, younger than me. He's not old.
um, but ever since he left St. Louis, his shine has started to disappear. And I think it's just because of the markets that he played in. He played for the Yankees, he played for the Mets. You know, I think he got DFA'd by the Yankees and or by the either Yankees or the Reds, and it kind of looked like he was done after that. But
He cut his flow off. It ruined everything.
yeah, but then he was like kind of decent, I think, with the Mets last year, and then this year he's been really good as
Yes, he
the
has.
starting left fielder for the Twins, and now I think he's gonna be the starting left fielder for the Phillies. Um,
He was
so
in
I
center
like the
for
move for
them.
the Phillies. They needed outfield help. Was that?
He was in center for the Phillies.
Um, why am I blanking on that? Is it Brandon Marsh still?
Brendan Donovan's going to be the
I don't
starting
think it
center. Or
is.
Brendan Donovan. Harrison Bader's going to be the starting center fielder
Um, not schedule. Kyle, you idiot.
then.
Depth chart. Uh, their outfielders on their roster are Max Kepler, Weston Wilson, Otto Kemp, Harrison Bader, Brandon Marsh, Kyle Schwarber.
Harrison Bader is the starting center fielder of the Philadelphia Phillies. No one should be in center field but him. He has elite speed and
Um,
defense.
if he can hit righties, then yes.
And he
But
mashes
also
lefties.
I don't know who's playing left field and who's playing right field for that team.
Marsh
So,
is playing
Nick
one of them.
Castellanos. Nick Castellanos. I don't know why he's not listed on here.
Castellanos should
Um,
not be playing in anything.
well,
Let him
you
swing a
got,
bat and nothing else.
but you got Kyle Schwarber, and he shouldn't be doing anything either.
Gosh, that's rough.
Yeah, they're not a defense team. He might be the starting center fielder for the Phillies, and they might just deal with Max Kepler in left. But
They should just put Harper back out in the outfield.
uh, do they have someone to play first base?
Yeah, Alec Bohm.
Do they have someone to play third base?
They could
In,
easily get
in
somebody.
Mundo Sosa?
Yeah, there you go. Fixed. Are they just acquiring the old Cardinals team?
Yeah. Um, but Harrison Bader was not
No.
uh the prize of the deadline. That was Matt
No.
Manning, obviously.
That dude's not even gonna play for him.
Yeah. No, Johan Duran, who was the guy that I was comparing the return from or their
Ryan Hall.
return with Ryan Helsley's return. I didn't realize Johan Duran had so much club control left.
3 more years.
I thought he had an extra year, but yeah, 3 years, you got to give up a lot, and the Phillies
They
did give
did.
up a lot. They gave up Mick Abel, who was I think number 4 in their system, but was a top 100 prospect as well.
Number 91,
So he was number 6. Eduardo Tate was number 4, I think, in their system.
number 56.
Yeah, and that those numbers for the Phillies system might even be wrong. But that right now they're number 4 and number 6. Sorry, I don't know where they were in the Phillies system, but yeah, they're both top 100 prospects.
So
We talked
probably 3 and 4 behind Painter and um, oh my
in
gosh,
Aiden Miller.
Aiden Miller.
Um, yeah, the only guys ahead of Eduardo Tate, Walker Jenkins, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and Luke Keyshaw, and Kalen Culpepper's between them. All those guys probably
Are
not
going to be
far from
good.
the big leagues.
But
Maybe Kalen Culpepper, but
I think Minnesota desperately needed catching help and pitching help, and they got both. And again, like I said with the Athletics and Mason Miller, what good is a closer for the next 3 years when you just sold your entire team? So you got a great return for it, and the Phillies could be a closer piece away from winning a World Series. So you make that trade every time.
yeah, the Phillies are on my list of winners. They're just not at the top.
Oh,
Uh,
I agree.
but I do think I don't know if the Phillies did enough to hold off the Mets, but they're gonna be in the playoffs, and
They've
anything
got
can
the
happen.
starting pitching.
They have the starting pitching, yeah. And they have the offense. I just don't think they have the defense, and they have
They got Harrison Bader.
one of the top three. They have one of the top 3 closers that was traded at the deadline. Um, I still don't love their bullpen,
It's
and I
fair.
don't, especially without Jose Alvarado, who may pitch a little bit in September, but he's
Ineligible.
suspended right now, and he's not eligible for the postseason. And I think if they had him along with Johan Duran, it might be a
Phil's be
different
back now.
story. But I think he kind of screwed them over.
It's fair.
Uh, moving on to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They make
Um,
me.
yeah, so they traded they traded Ke'Bryan Hayes and his contract to the Reds, and they got back Taylor Rogers. And they also uh, who they then traded to the Cubs. They also traded Bailey Falter to the Kansas City Royals. They got back Evan Sisk, who uh, is he a Mizzou guy?
Good question.
I thought he had some sort of I don't know. I know he was traded in a big trade, an Andrew Benintendi trade, I think. Um, he is
Remember when he
he was
used
a
to be good?
former he was drafted by the Cardinals out of high school. So that's where I was thinking or out of junior college or something. That's where I was thinking of uh his connection to around here. But
Um,
yeah.
Detroit. Detroit picked up a reliever that went to the same college as me. That's from your high school, I believe, or at least your city.
I think it was
He's from Highland. Sorry, not.
okay. There was a guy that just got drafted or just got signed from my high school, but he was signed by the Mets.
I don't know. Jeff Hartley went to Lindenwood
Oh.
from Highland.
Yeah, I think the guy's name's Austin Brown or something that got signed by the
Yeah,
Mets.
I saw that.
Uh, but yeah, uh the Pirates didn't really do much. The only thing they really did of substance was trade away Key Brian Hayes, and I consider that a win.
Oh well, They did something more than that.
Am I forgetting something?
Yeah, they traded Bednar.
Oh yeah,
That was their big move.
that little thing.
That
Uh,
little. They got back
um,
good pieces.
yeah, they did. Completely forgot about that. I really like Rafael Flores too. Is he the one that I like? I think he's the one that I like.
No, you like Sammy Staffora
Oh,
or
that's
Staffora, the
I do
shortstop.
like Sammy Stafura. Uh, that's in the Brian Hayes trade.
Oh, was it?
Um, yeah,
Oh yeah, Rafael Flores, and they also got what was
Rafael
it,
Flores is the guy that I like.
Edgeline Perez also.
Yeah, he's 19. He's
Both are catcher, first baseman.
uh yeah, Edgeline Rosario or Edgeline Pereira or Perez.
Perez.
Good grief. I think I read something from my phone and that gave me a stroke.
Look, he doesn't hit for a lot of power. He doesn't hit for a lot of average, but for somehow the dude gets on base. He's got a high on base percentage.
Yeah,
He has a good. He's got a
83
good approach
games.
at the plate.
83 games, he's a 368 on base percentage and a 236 slug.
Yeah,
How do you manage that?
he takes good at bats and walks a buttload.
301 at bats, 63 hits, 8 doubles, no triples, no home runs.
How many walks?
68 walks.
There you go.
That's interesting. He's interesting.
If he can learn how to hit, man, everyone's in trouble.
Yeah, Rafael Flores is the guy that I like. He's going to be in the big league soon. If I don't love that the Pirates have so many catchers and none of them have really panned out.
Stop taking catchers.
Yeah. Um,
I also am mad at them because why is IKF and Tommy Pham on your team still?
um, they wouldn't get anything for IKF. Tommy
Okay,
Pham,
why is Tommy Pham on your team?
I agree.
Why did you not take advantage of this market being so desperate for starting pitching, especially with another year of control, and relievers with another year of control, and not trade Mitch Keller or Dennis Santana?
Yeah. Um,
Look, I
at
can
the same
see if
time, at the same time though, good for the Pirates. It's hard to trade a guy like David Bednar, who is from Pittsburgh, and you kind of want to bill as that hometown hero. But they pulled the trigger. They probably could have pulled it a little bit earlier, but they did. And good for them for getting off of Brian Hayes' contract. Because
yeah,
Brian Hayes can't hit. I think they finally realized that he's a great third baseman. But they got Sammy Stafura, who I think is going to be really good. He's only 20 years old. He's only in A ball right now, but he's super athletic. He's extremely fast. He seems like a guy that's going to stick at shortstop. Uh, and he can hit. I I
and the
like
Pirates
Stafura.
and the Pirates got all the pitching they could ever want with, you know, you got Skeens, you got Jared Jones, you've got Hunter Barco, you've got Bubba Chandler, you just drafted Seth Mendoza. Like, you're loaded at pitching. They needed hitting, and they took advantage of Bednar and Key Brian Hayes, and they got hitting. So good on them for that. I just think it could have been a great deadline if they didn't leave some players on the table.
Yeah. Um, moving on to the Texas Rangers. Uh, they got Merrill Kelly, which
They gave up too much.
I think they gave up too much, but also their rotation is one of the better ones in the league right now because Jacob DeGrom is proving that he's still Jacob DeGrom, and I think Nathan Eovaldi is sneaky having like a historic
Another good
season.
season. Another one.
Like he's pitched 103 innings this year over 18 games, and he has a 1.49 ERA
Nasty.
and 105 strikeouts, so it's a batter per inning. So adding Merrill Kelly as the third in that trio
Good.
is great for them.
And he's a playoff performer. He knows how to do it, and he's not going to fold under the pressure.
Yeah. We also talked about Phil Maton. I
So
think
underrated.
that's
Loved
going to be
it.
a really good piece in their bullpen, as well as Danny Colomb, who,
Also under a 2 ERA. Very underrated.
yeah, this guy's a lefty though.
And I don't, yeah.
So
And I
that
don't
in
think they
both
gave
sides.
up a massive price for
No, I think they traded a guy who I can't confirm or deny if he even has a baseball reference.
him.
A guy named Garrett Horn.
Oh yeah, we couldn't find him the other day.
Yeah, I think I might have found him after that.
Oh, we did.
Uh, I think he was bad though. So they got Danny Colomb for nothing.
No, don't say that.
Did I miss any trades for the Rangers? We're kind
Um,
of blowing past the Rangers, but uh,
no, they got Cologne, Made, Towning, Kelly. Those were their only three.
have they DFA'd Jock Peterson yet? No.
No,
Okay.
maybe.
Tampa Bay Rays. Uh, they traded Zach Littell in that stupid 3-team trade.
Cincinnati.
Not gonna deal with that.
No,
Uh,
I didn't like that necessarily.
I believe they traded away Paul Gervais in that deal too to the Dodgers.
Yeah,
They traded Danny Jansen. I think we like the guy that I can't remember which guy they got for him. It was the middle infielder who I can't pronounce his name. Um,
Jader,
yeah, Jader.
Arenamo or something.
Yeah,
Arianamo.
he
I don't
is.
have it in front of me. I'm just trying to remember.
I think that's pretty close. Yeah. I think it's Yader Arenamo. That's what I'm going with. He's 21 years old, a real small guy, but he has some pop. Uh,
Good for him.
yeah, 800 OPS roughly, and high A. Just got moved to Double A. Um, he got moved to Double A as he got traded to the Rays. Uh, so he can be a nice little piece. Probably a couple years away, but the Rays will be the Rays with him.
They traded Taj Bradley. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but they did get back Griffin Jacks,
Oh, I was
which
a big fan of that.
is a very controllable piece.
I'm not necessarily a big fan of trading Taj Bradley
That's
because you
was
got
my question, but I really like Griffin Jacks.
you got
He's going to be their
potential
closer.
there, but Griffin Jacks is I think one of the best relievers in the league. Is that crazy to say?
I mean, he's going to finally get a chance to close,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
No, he
I
won't. 'Cause
thought
Pete Fairbanks is still there for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was weird too of them acquiring Adrian Hauser, who's had a sneaky good year for the White Sox. But I guess I don't know. I don't. They did like a soft sell, but also a soft buy at the same time, and it was
Yeah,
interesting.
I find it weird that they traded Jose Caballero for Everson Pereira.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Um,
That was the one I really didn't like.
I think Everson Pereira might just be out of options, and so the Yankees need to do something with him, and the Rays had room in their outfield. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know why.
But why Caballero? He can be. I think he's going to be solid.
Yeah, he's their starting shortstop, and I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in stolen bases. Um, I don't know. The Rays are gonna get at least one superstar out of that. I don't know who it is. I don't know how they're gonna make it happen.
Griffin Jacks.
They're gonna make it happen. Well, yeah. I'm talking about probably out of the prospect. Did they even get prospects? I don't know. This was
I
such a
don't
weird
think they
deadline.
did.
I'm done talking about the Rays. The Rays,
They're sneakily trying to stay in this wild card race. They were only 3 out of Seattle and Texas. Um,
Yeah, I guess they trade
and
what they thought they could afford to trade.
yeah, and the Rays are gonna Ray, and that usually works out well for them. So, maybe they end up in the playoffs somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, Boston Red Sox, we talked about all their trades, but
Ooh,
um,
yes, let's get here. This is
we haven't
my
talked about
number one loser. Number one loser of the deadline is the Boston Red Sox.
yeah, the only trades they made were Dustin May, who they traded James Tibbs for,
James Tibbs and Earhart,
and Zach Earhart too, which
who's
uh
having a solid season in the outfield.
I didn't even look if he was ranked in the Dodgers system because James
I mean,
Tibbs is the
probably not because the Dodgers system is loaded.
um he's the 25th ranked prospect. He's 22. Uh he is in double A. Um he is kind of just hit to all fields kind of guy. He'll hit doubles, but he won't necessarily hit home runs. Um, he they think he's going to stick in center field, and he's been kind of a quick riser. Played in 3 different levels this season. And like I said, just got called up to Double A as he moved
And
to
you
the
traded
Dodgers
that
organization.
along with James Tibbs the third for Dustin May.
Yeah, why does everyone hate James Tibbs?
I
Because
don't know.
I guess the Giants hated him because they traded
From the
him for
St.
Rafael
Louis.
Devers, and then a month later he gets traded to the yeah, to the from the Giants to the Red Sox to the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
if I were the Giants, I'd be pissed too because I'm gonna have to deal with him at some point, and he's on the Dodgers now, so he's gonna be a superstar.
Yeah. My struggle here is Boston needs starting pitching and they didn't go get it. Like Dustin May's got a 5 ERA and ERA plus is not any better, and his whip's not great. Like his underlying numbers aren't great. As much as I like Dustin May, and he's got so much potential, and his stuff is filthy. He just can't figure it out. Um, you have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, and moved all the way up to be the second wild card right now, and you're not far behind. You're like a game behind the Yankees, and you needed bullpen help and you needed starting pitching more than anything.
They
And
did do that.
you did you?
They got a starter and they got a reliever.
But did you get an effective starter? And did you get a back of the end reliever?
No,
No,
but they
you didn't.
it
And
the
I
more
guarantee, just no, wait, just like Cubs fans and Milwaukee fans, especially the Cubs fans right now, if you go ask any Boston fans, please, hopefully you're listening, tell me I'm wrong. You are not livid about what happened this deadline.
yeah,
Robbie Hyde, love him, love watching him. Big Boston fan, has his own Boston channel. Was generous when he did grades on teams and gave them a D minus because they lost this deadline, in my opinion.
yeah, the more I look at their deadline, the less I like it, which I already didn't like it. Like I hate it a lot more because they traded James Tibbs, Zach Earhart, and Blaze Jordan, all 3 prospects ranked in the top 30, and probably gonna
Steven
have
Matz,
a
Dustin
future
May
with
for
their
2 months.
team for 2 months of Dustin May and 2 months of Steven Matz.
It's not good.
It's not good.
And I
Um,
honestly think they're the biggest loser on mine because I think both Seattle and Texas catch them and they miss the playoffs because of this. That's my bold prediction. Because of how bad their deadline was, they will miss the playoffs.
I don't think that's super bold. Um, I kind of agree.
Number one
Um,
loser at the deadline for me.
yeah. Moving on to the Cincinnati Reds. I believe they only made 2 trades. And it was Miguel Andujar and Ke'Bryan Hayes
And Zach Littell.
and Zach Littell. We don't talk about that trade. Uh,
I think that was a sneaky move for them to get an extra pitcher
yeah,
who's not that old.
it's true. I just hate their how they did it. I hate 3-team trades. Uh,
because they're confusing.
I've thought about doing it a couple times in fantasy football, but I don't want to do all that
Brain
work.
hurts.
Um, Miguel Andujar is a fine hitter. He kind of has gotten a bad rap from how his Yankees tenure went, but with the A's, he's over the past 2 years he's been good. Um, he's going to Great American Ballpark, which is going to be good for his hitting until you realize he was hitting literally at the best ballpark he could possibly be hitting at, possibly even better than Coors Field, because that,
AAA ballpark with
yeah,
thin air,
it, I believe it's a, oh,
hot ball carries.
yeah, I think it's thin air. I think it's super hot there, so the ball travels a lot. And I think the fences are fairly short.
It's fair.
So I
I
don't
think
know if
you're
that
right.
makes if he's going to benefit at all from hitting in
I
Cincinnati.
mean, I think it'll be about the same.
Yeah, maybe. And then Brian Hayes, why?
All
And
athletes team, man.
yeah,
We're
but
gonna
like,
get all the players with the good gloves that can run fast and can't hit the ball, and hope that they can bunt and get on base, and that's all we can do.
do you remember what I said about the Seattle Mariners? Good for them for realizing they need to score runs to win the game.
Yeah,
You
they
got
got two hitters. What are you talking about?
No, they didn't. They got
They
Miguel.
got a glove and a bat.
Yeah, they got Miguel Andujar, which might end up being a bat, which they need help in their outfield. So good for them. Um, Brian Hayes is one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. He somehow snuck a Gold Glove away from Nolan Arenado one year. Uh,
He had
I
a
thought he
temper.
won two. He only won one, so I hate it even more now. Uh, and he has a 500 OPS roughly.
Whew.
Like,
That's
what
not a
is?
big league hitter.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's getting to the point where I don't know if his back or his glove makes up for his bat. He has a 570 OPS, which is a 61 OPS plus. League average is 100, which means he's 39% worse than an average player or average hitter. Um, yeah, he's
Man, I was really wrong about him when we originally talked about him. In my mind, he had O'Neal Cruz exit velocity. He does not.
he doesn't.
It's only 86.3. It's not good.
In 2023, Brian Hayes hit 15 home runs. After that, his next highest home run total is 7.
Yeah,
He
he's not
did
good.
hit a home run in his first game with the Reds. Um,
Listen, maybe Great American Small Park will be good for him.
but he in 2 games right now he's 1 for 8, and that one
Hey,
hit is a home run. Um,
three outcome
and
player, man.
he still hasn't struck out yet, which I don't know
Okay.
if I think that's good for him or if that's bad for him because
At least he's
he's
putting the ball in play and he's got speed.
yeah. I don't
We
like
talked too much about the Pirates already.
we're talking about the Reds.
Or the Pirates, the Reds. I like that they kind of went for it, only being three out of the wild card, but the wild card is the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Padres, and you're not catching them.
Yeah. Um, Moving on to the Rockies. They traded
They
Tyler
said, well,
Finley and they made a couple trades with the Yankees. I think they got back some pretty good prospects, especially in the Ryan McMahon trade. Let me go to the Rockies farm system real quick. Um, so they got what are their names? Josh Groves
yep, and Griffin Herring.
and Griffin Herring.
And
Josh
Griffin Herring
Groves,
is the centerpiece. He is good.
yeah, Josh Groves has been fine so far. He has a real good arm. He doesn't really have a third pitch. Uh, He has a fastball slider, and his changeup is kind of bad, and he has issues with control. So I think he's going to be a bullpen piece. Um, I do like Griffin Herring. He's currently the number 5 prospect in the Rocky system. I think he was number 8 with the Yankees, which the fact that the Rockies have a worse farm system than the Yankees right now is tells you where the Rockies are, and they're about to lose 120 games.
They're getting pitching. That's
Yeah,
what they need more than anything.
yeah. So
There's no one signing there.
Griffin Herring was one of the unsung heroes of a national championship team at LSU. Uh, he got drafted in the 6th round last year by the Yankees, and so far through 3 levels of professional baseball, that just this year, 17 starts, 7-3 record with a 1.85 ERA, and 106 strikeouts and 92 and a third innings, and that's including since we did our first episode, our first attempt at this episode, he gave up 4 runs in 3 innings, or 2 runs in 3 innings, at high A in a start with the Rockies. Uh, so he got worse from that. Griffin Herring is going to be really
Yep.
good. In the Jake Bird trade, they somehow got Rock Riggio,
That is
which
just
he is.
that's a Colorado name. He's going to be a good hitter too.
Yeah, he's a really good hitter. He's considered a second baseman, which okay, sure. They tried him at shortstop in the Yankees system, but he can't do it. Uh,
Who doesn't
he
like a good hitting second baseman?
yeah, I mean he's getting called left-hand hitting Dustin Pedroia.
I
Or has the
think Yankees
potential.
or okay. I think Colorado would take that.
Yeah, and he's played 4 levels this season. He's 23 years old. Played 4 levels this season. Uh, Spent most of his time at Double A, and has a 870 had an 877 OPS there. Throughout all of his levels, he has a 925 OPS though.
That's dang
As a
good.
second baseman, that'll play, especially when he plays in Colorado. And I think they got another guy, Ben Shields. Is he
I
ranked
think
as
he is
well?
as low.
Yeah, 27. He's 26 though, so he's older than
So
me.
not a prospect.
Not a prospect. He's played for 5 levels this season. Why? Just call him up at this point if you're
I
gonna do
mean,
that.
he might be in Colorado.
Rookie, high A, double A, or rookie A, high A, and double A with the Rockies, and or with the Yankees, and then double A with the Rockies. So 4 levels, 5 teams, and he's combined for a 3.1 ERA. 46 strikeouts and 40 and 2/3 innings in 10 games. I don't love that. They need to stretch him out a little bit, but they came out pretty well in a trade for Jake Bird.
Yeah,
I think they did a lot better than I expected them to.
Colorado had a good trade deadline.
I wish
They're one of my sellers that won.
I wish they would have traded Ryan McMahon earlier, but they still came out well.
Yes, they did.
The Kansas City Royals.
Like
Earlier
it.
when we talked about the Diamondbacks, we didn't talk about Randall Grichuk. They
Oh
acquired
yeah.
Randall Grichuk, and they also acquired Mike Yastrzemski. Their outfield has been horrible, both offensively and defensively, and they traded for 2 veterans that are gonna kind of shore that up, especially until Jack Caglione comes back. Um, and they also traded for Bailey Falter. They trade away Freddie Fermin, which they can afford to do. They have
Yeah,
Salvi there still, and
their
they
two
have
top prospects are
they have Carter Jensen and Blake Mitchell both.
and Carter Jensen's about to be MLB ready, so
Yeah, and then in that trade they got uh Ryan Berger and Steven Kolick.
Oh man, Ryan Berger is good, and Kolek is solid as well. I love what they got. Like that is a great return.
Yeah, I like the Royals deadline. I don't think we're going to talk about it
Sneaky winner.
much more, but because they didn't really come up with a superstar or anything, but
Let me let
they
me let me give you a quick rundown of their outfield that they were running with before this deadline. They also acquired Adam Frazier a couple days before the deadline as well.
eh.
Yeah, but before that, they were running Nick Lofton, who just got called back up, John Rave, Tyler Tolbert, Kyle Isbell, and that's it because Jack Caglione got hurt. You've never heard of any of those guys because they're terrible,
I
except for Kyle
actually
Isbell.
I actually have heard of those guys because I did a
Of course you
Royals
did.
franchise once in
Oh, okay,
MLB.
this show. Yeah,
By
they're
the way,
terrible.
I will say in that I traded for Mike Yastrzemski, so I feel like
There
I'm
you
seeing.
go. You were ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
Look at you, armchair GM,
yeah.
actually making a real trade.
What did I tell you?
But yeah, they just desperately needed outfield help, and they did that. And they're only, what, 3 games out of the wild card, too. They're not going to make it, but they get their fans excited to not sell away everybody. And you give that team some hope that, hey, we're hanging in there, and we're going to keep going next year as well.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers. We're gonna move on to them.
One of my biggest losers.
Yeah, they got
I
Chris
hated
Paddock
everything about it.
and Randy Dobnak in a trade with the
Just
Twins.
name all the pieces they got.
Uh, yeah, Chris Paddock, Randy Dobnak, Kyle Finnegan, and
Rafael Montero,
Ra-
Paul Sewald, Charlie Morton.
yeah.
This is the
I,
best team in the AL. What did they get that helps them?
I mean, Charlie Morton can still be good.
No,
He's
pass.
not gonna be. And they got rid of Matt Manning, which will help their team.
Their biggest acquisition was Finnegan, who has not been good this year. And I believe they ranked 29th in bullpen strikeouts. And Kyle Finnegan doesn't strike people out.
No, he doesn't. I want to say
There are like 6 or 7 closers, not even good relievers, closers on the market. You are the best team in baseball. Go get one.
I want to say Kyle Finnegan got non-tendered this past offseason and just re-signed with the Nationals, and he's been not good. He was an all-star last year.
Again, if I'm Detroit fans, I'm not happy. You finally have a team competing that's good, and you don't buy. Like, you buy a lot, but you buy a lot of garbage and hope something sticks. Like, this is some John Mozeliak stuff right here.
Well, if you're the Tigers, don't worry because we're going to completely forget about how bad your trade deadline was after we talk about the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, gosh.
So Koty didn't mind their trade deadline before our first attempt at this episode, and I told him the Twins were the biggest loser of this deadline, and I think he kind of started to go that way.
They went from possible winner to loser.
I don't know how
Not
you got
biggest
possible
loser.
winner.
They didn't go from biggest loser, but they went to loser.
The
I
only
looked at, this is my fun fact for them. I looked at their contracts for next year. Two players are under contract for next year. Byron Buxton, who was always hurt, and Joe Ryan, who almost got traded.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that could have made the Twins deadline worse is if the Joe Ryan rumor actually happened.
I heard the Cubs were close.
The graphic said he got traded to the Red Sox. MLB on ESPN.
Oh, the Red Sox. That's right. The
Yeah.
Red Sox were close.
MLB on ESPN posted a graphic of Joe Ryan getting traded to the Red Sox, and I was watching John Boy their Talking Baseball episode for the deadline, and Trevor Plouffe, right before that got posted, said, "If we trade Joe Ryan, I'm quitting my job as a Twins broadcaster." And 5 seconds after that, there was a little bloop saying that he got traded to the Red Sox, and he almost cried.
I was
Um,
going to say he's not quitting his job.
yeah, because
He would have hated life, but he wouldn't have quit his job. I'll keep my paycheck, please.
yeah, well, he already hated his life because the players they traded away. I'm
Whew.
just gonna try and name
List
them
them.
real fast. Johan Duran, Harrison Bader, Carlos Correa, Willie Castro, Brock Stewart, Louis Varland, Griffin Jacks. I feel like there's more. That was all just at the Chris Paddock, Randy Dobnak.
Cologne.
Yeah. And look, we're at the end of the day, we know why they did it. It's kind of like I was talking about earlier with Correa. They're doing it because they're trying to sell the team. But to make a team worth buying, you have to at least have a good farm system, and they didn't really do that either. I mean, they got Mick Abel and they got Eduardo Tate, but
There's only two other prospects they got in all of those moves that I actually like.
yeah,
They got Kendry Rojas and they got Ryan Gallagher.
yeah.
Those are the only other two. Oh, and Hendry Mendez. So they got three other prospects that I like. But you gave up like 3/4 of your team.
They
and
traded
got
them.
5 prospects.
They traded everyone worth having in their bullpen. They traded Brock Stewart, Griffin Jacks, Louis Varland, and Johan Duran. They don't have anyone else to pitch for them.
No. And you only got 5 good prospects.
Yeah. Twins are my biggest losers, and I'm done talking about them.
I can't give them biggest losers. I can't do it over teams who have a chance to win a World Series and crap the bed and did nothing.
I can and I will.
Well, you're wrong.
The White Sox trade Adrian Hauser, and they got back Curtis Mead and some maybe prospects, not really prospects. They trade Austin Slater, and they got back Gage Zeal.
That's probably their best move.
That's their only real move.
I think Zeal's probably in the top 20.
Yeah, he's ranked somewhere. We're too far.
Number 14.
We're too far into this for me
14.
to give more than 5 minutes to the Chicago White Sox.
He's number 14. He's in high A.
Yeah.
Right-handed pitcher.
Getting that for Austin Slater is good.
I think that was a good get.
Why are we? I mean, Curtis Mead will have an opportunity to play there because it's the White Sox.
I think the only other thing we need to talk about the White Sox is why are we still hanging on to Luis Robert?
Because they're gonna give him his team option,
and they're stupid.
Hope he plays well.
Listen, I'm not. Luis Robert might just say screw this because they've got 2 more team options. He might just say I retire. I'm done. I'm sick of the White Sox.
I don't think he's gonna do that. He's got $40 million on the table.
He's gonna pull a hammy and be out for the season, making $20 million.
That he might do. Phantom IL situation.
Oh, for sure.
I think they're in a rough spot to where they're not going to trade him until he plays well, and he's not going to play well until they trade him.
Yeah.
So they're
just screwing themselves.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough bats on the market. I think you could have got enough for him to make it worth it.
Yeah. I think. Oh, hey, Brian De La Cruz designated for assignment. I switched to the next team, and I found the guy that we were. The guy that I was confusing.
Was he a Yankee?
Yep.
Jeez.
We were talking about the last team, and I'm glad they're the last team because these are my winners of the deadline. Granted,
this is my number 2.
Yesterday, their deadline was absolutely horrible because Jose Caballero made an error in the game, and Camilo Doval, David Bednar, and Jake Bird all
8 runs
8 runs in 2 innings or
and
something.
blew the game.
Um, that being said, I don't think that's going to be how
Insane.
I don't think that's going to be how the rest of their season goes.
No, no.
Um, they traded some good players or some good prospects, but they got a fourth outfielder in and Austin Slater. And they got a third baseman.
Yeah,
Good for them. Finally
yeah.
getting
If I had to
someone.
see Jazz play terrible third base anymore, I was going to lose my mind.
Yeah, they had to cut bait with DJ LeMahieu to do it. I'm sure Yankees fans love DJ LeMahieu just because he's a great team guy and he won a batting title in the COVID season
Hey,
and
guess
whatnot.
what? What am I going to say about DJ LeMahieu?
Retire.
Uh, he is older than me by 3 years. Retire.
Yeah. Ow. Just kicked my friggin' stand that my computer's on.
That's
Um,
what you do.
and then they rebuilt their bullpen on top of that.
Yeah. As I sent Kyle a picture yesterday of the last three, and he couldn't see the names. He's like, "What the heck is this?" I'm like, "Click on this picture," and it was Jake Bird, uh, David Bednar, and Camilo Doval going like 3 innings, maybe 2 1/3 innings, giving up 8 runs and blowing the game.
Yeah, against the
It was
Rockies.
insane. But yeah, yeah. But these are my number two winners because they went out and got good guys. They've been playing good all season. Like they got traded, they instantly went to a team. They had a bad outing in their first game in New York. Like I'm not going to hold that to them. We've seen what they've done this year. We've seen what they've done in the past. The Yankees rebuilt the system to where it takes some pressure off of Devin Williams, who hasn't been great. And honestly, I think it takes Devin Williams out of the closer role, maybe even the eighth inning role. I think Bednar should be closing. I think Camilo Doval should be their eighth inning guy. I think Dave uh, Devin Williams should be their seventh inning guy. And I think this helps out their bullpen. And I like it because there was talk of the Yankees potentially being sellers with Judge getting hurt, and they said, "Screw that. We're the Yankees. We're leading the wild card right now. We're going all in, and we're going to rebuild this bullpen and make this team a contender."
Ahmed
And any
Rosario
team,
too.
and Ahmed Rosario, yeah, and any team that's got a Garrett Cole, like that's what you need to win in the playoffs, and you get him a bullpen that can lock it down outside of yesterday. Um, I love it. They're my second winners, and I hate that my two winners are the New York Mets and the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and
But
they
they
finally
did what
trade Clayton Beater, so that's a win for them.
and Kyle hates Clayton Beater.
I don't hate Clayton
Um,
Beater. I just didn't
yes,
want
he
him as
does.
a centerpiece
Kyle hates
for
Clayton Beater. Don't
a
let him
big
lie to you.
trade for Donovan or something like that.
Any any playoff team that says we know what it takes to win in the playoffs, and it is relief pitching, relief pitching, and relief pitching, and they go and do that when they already have the starting pitching. Those are the real winners, and the Mets and the Yankees did that, and I think they have to be two of the favorites to make a run in this playoffs because of what they did yesterday.
Yeah, I think just talking real quick about as a recap for our winners and losers. Yankees are my biggest winner. Honorable mentions: the Padres, the Mets, the Phillies. My biggest losers are the Minnesota Twins, and the honorable mentions are the Red Sox and the Brewers.
Oh man, we differ. We differ, and that's why we're here. Hopefully, it's entertaining watching me tell Kyle he's wrong because he's wrong. My ultimate winners are the Mets, closely behind the Yankees, and then I like what San Diego and Philly did to make their runs. And I think honorable mentions. I think Kansas City did. I liked what they did, and I liked what. Who did I say was my? I liked some of what Arizona did. We'll see. And I like what Colorado did in their system. My losers: number one, Boston Red Sox. Number two, Chicago Cubs. and number three, the Milwaukee Brewers. I hated it. You cannot be legit title contenders and not do enough to help your team make a push when you have major glaring needs, and that is why they are my loser.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, only time will tell as to what these trades will actually look like. Like I said, I
Yeah,
do
we
think,
don't know what these prospects are going to be.
yeah. Well, even the big leaguers, like, if would you have thought the Yankees would have had a game like that yesterday after being on such a high of what they did
Oh
in the
no,
deadline? Yeah.
no.
So only time will tell. We'll see in October what these big leaguers do, and we'll see in a couple of years what these prospects do. But we are almost 3 hours into this. We cut off an hour and a half over that from our last attempt at this. So,
Insane.
congratulations to us, and congratulations to all these teams that may or may not have done what they need to do at the deadline. We are going to wrap up. I want to thank anyone that is still watching for sticking with us through all this chaos. Um, please be sure to if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Like I said, hit the notification bell. If you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, uh, be sure to follow our podcast or whatever else you need to do. I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify and Apple Music, but whatever you need to do to follow us, you should do that. Also, follow us on our socials. If you are coming from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any of those things, there will be
There'll
links
be a link for that.
somewhere to everything else. And if you are on Spotify and Apple Podcast, we will memorize these things eventually. And I think there should still be a way to put links in there. Maybe there isn't. I don't
Yeah,
know. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, we
we
don't
were
have no
athletes
plans.
once.
Well, we're also, before we leave, we're gonna get better. We're gonna have an intro. We're gonna have an outro. We're gonna have some music and
Maybe.
stuff for it. This is episode 1. We are very bare bones and we are very bad at this right now. We will get better. We will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.